My child, stop everything. Yes, everything. Because what I am about to say cannot wait another moment. This is not a suggestion. This is a divine dispatch from the throne of heaven, and I am speaking it directly to you. I am the Lord your God, and I've seen your weariness, your silent questions, your battles behind the curtain. And now I'm sending a helper. Not someday. Today. You must listen closely. You must stay until the very last word, because each moment of this message holds a key, a code, a revelation that unlocks the next chapter of your life. Miss even a second, and you'll miss what angels are already preparing. This is not background noise. This is a turning point disguised as a video. So lean in. Hold nothing back. I made you ready, and now let me show you what I've sent. My beloved, still your hands for a moment. Quiet your mind. Yes, I see you, rushing through the rhythms of your day, trying to manage what was never yours to manage alone. But hear me now. What I'm about to say cannot wait for the right time, because this is the right time. There are moments I whisper softly and let you choose if you will lean in. But not now. This is a divine interruption. This is a heaven-authored summoning that carries weight beyond your understanding. I have set alarms in the spirit, and this message is the sound of one ringing through the halls of your heart. I am not asking. I'm calling. Not from afar, but from beside you, closer than breath, closer than the worry swirling behind your eyes. I've watched you carry things alone, thinking maybe I was waiting for your strength to prove something. But beloved, I was never looking for your strength. I've always been moved by your surrender. You've endured longer than you expected to, haven't you? Pushed through days when your smile was a disguise, carried the weight of responsibilities with no one to shoulder the burden with you. But I never meant for you to carry it alone. I'm not content to watch you survive under pressure while pretending to be fine. I'm speaking now because my provision is already moving, already sent, already at your doorstep. But if your heart remains distracted, you'll miss what has your name etched upon it. There is a helper coming. No, already sent, because your spirit cried out in a frequency I cannot ignore. I saw the fatigue you didn't confess. I felt the way you exhaled in the dark when no one was watching, trying to release just enough pressure to keep moving forward. You don't even realize how many battles you've been fighting at once. Emotional, mental, spiritual, and even physical. All while still loving people, still praying, still believing even with trembling faith. And now, my answer is not just an idea, not a concept, not an encouraging word to carry you a little further. I've sent reinforcement. Not random, not delayed, not theoretical. Divine. Personal. I'm. The helper I have sent comes with authority, not a passive companion but a divine agent, appointed to your situation, skilled in what burdens your heart, and ready to activate what has laid dormant in your life. But this is not automatic. I need your focus. I need your permission to take you beyond what's familiar. I need you to trust that what I am doing is not a detour. It's a deliverance. Don't wait for your emotions to catch up. Don't wait until the storm clears. The helper is already in motion. The atmosphere is shifting. The room you are in right now is charged with my presence. You didn't stumble here. I summoned you here. So stay with me, right here, right now. The release has begun. You've cried in silence, asking for strength. You whispered for someone to understand, someone to carry what you no longer could. I heard every word, and now I'm responding. Beloved, the tears you shed when no one was watching, I caught them. The weight you carried in silence, with shoulders squared while your heart was trembling, did not go unseen. I have heard every whisper you thought was swallowed by the walls of your room. I was there when you buried your face into your hands, desperate for strength that never seemed to come fast enough. You didn't need to say it out loud. I heard your soul speak. I heard the hidden cry beneath the composed replies, the ache wrapped inside the polite nods and tired smiles. You've been praying for help, but secretly wondering if help even knows where to find you. You've been hoping for a breakthrough, but too exhausted to believe one could still arrive. You've asked God, do you see me? Do you hear me? And here I am now, interrupting your moment with a divine why yes louder than any lie you've believed. Child, you must understand something sacred. My silence was never absence. My delay was never dismissal. Every cry you cried, in your car, in your closet, in your mind while walking through crowds pretending to be whole, reached me. I have been storing them not as forgotten sorrows, but as seeds of deliverance. Not one has dried without watering the soil of your next miracle. And now I cannot stay silent any longer. You've reached the threshold, the invisible line between endurance and encounter, and I am moving in response. You asked for strength, and I am sending more than that. I'm sending presence. I'm sending precision. I'm sending a helper who does not need directions because they've been dispatched straight from my throne. They carry my authority, my timing, my intention. They know your exact coordinates, spiritually, emotionally, mentally, because they were designed for this moment, for you. This is not a recycled answer. This is a custom deliverance. Listen closely. This helper does not come empty-handed. They come with strategies that defy logic and comfort that reaches beneath the surface. You wanted understanding, not just sympathy, but a sacred knowing. I am answering with someone who understands not just your words but the weight behind them. Someone, or something. I have prepared to carry what was crushing you. You will feel a shift in your atmosphere, in your thinking, in your body, in your sleep. The weight is lifting, but more than that, it's being transferred into the hands of one who cannot fail. I have responded to your weakness with my wind. I am blowing away what buried you and breathing life into what pain tried to kill. So don't brush this off as coincidence. This is divine convergence. Your cry collided with my timing, and the release has begun. The helper is already on the move. But don't mistake my answer for emotional relief only. This is not just for your comfort. It's for your calling. I'm not just healing what hurt you. I'm awakening what I placed inside you before time knew your name. The helper I send is not here to babysit your breakdowns. They are here to escort you into breakthrough, into rebuilding, into becoming. Because what comes next cannot rest on broken strength. So I am reinforcing you with power from beyond the veil. There are shifts happening even now. Subtle in the natural, but seismic in the spirit. Chains are snapping without sound. Yokes are breaking without warning. And the fog of fatigue is beginning to lift, because I am clearing the skies of your inner world. So breathe, child. Not because the burden disappeared, but because I took it into my own hands. The helper is here, and so am I. This isn't imagination or coincidence. This is divine timing. I'm sending a helper, not a maybe, not a wish, but a promised presence infused with my power. This moment, this holy moment you find yourself standing in, is not a random flicker in the timeline of your life. It is a divinely orchestrated appointment written into the scrolls of eternity before the world was framed. And child, I do not waste such moments. You didn't scroll here by chance. You didn't pause on this word because of some vague inspiration. You were drawn. Oh, summoned. There is no such thing as spiritual coincidence in my kingdom, only convergence. I have converged your need with my answer, your ache with my arrival, your limitation with my limitless provision. This isn't imagination. It's intervention. And I'm not sending hope as a vague idea. I'm sending help as a tangible reality. I speak now with urgency because I am dispatching something. Someone who does not arrive late, who does not guess, and who does not flinch in the face of your warfare. This is a helper crafted in heaven, assigned by my authority, and arriving with the force of fulfillment. Not a maybe, not a whisper of chance, but a promised presence that walks with power. My spirit, my guidance, I advocate in motion. This helper will not watch you suffer. They will war for you. They will speak when you've lost your words. They will stand when your knees give way. They will remind you of what I said when fear makes you forget. This is not fantasy, beloved. This is fact in the spirit realm. I have backed it with my name, and my name cannot be revoked. My promise cannot be broken. My word cannot return void. Impact shifts do not always arrive with trumpets. Sometimes they arrive in trembling. Sometimes they show up in quiet moments like this, disguised in ordinary stillness, but drenched in supernatural weight. You are standing in one now. That stirring in your chest, that flicker of sudden emotion you can't explain. That's my spirit activating your spirit to recognize what is happening. Heaven is leaning in. Angels are positioning. The helper is being revealed. But I need you to agree. I need you to say yes. Not a casual, if it happens yes. I need the kind of yes that throws the doors wide open. The kind of yes that echoes past your fear. Because what I send is only received by faith. Not performance. Not perfection. Faith. Raw, trembling, open-handed faith. Let me tell you something else. This helper is not here to make you feel spiritual. They are here to make you strong. They are coming to lift the lid off the limits life has placed on you. To strip away the lies that you've worn like labels. To expose the sabotage that grasped itself as comfort. You didn't just need relief. You needed revival. And that's what's coming. A second-hand solution. Not a temporary patch. A permanent shift. A divine empowering. A holy reinforcement that wraps around you like armor and lives within you like fire. This helper isn't arriving to make you popular. They're arriving to make you powerful. My spirit is the helper. My angels assist him. And together, they form an unbreakable circle around you now. Breathe, child. Stay here. I am still speaking. You are not alone, though loneliness has tried to deceive you. You are not abandoned, though your surroundings feel empty. I am answering you with more than words. I'm sending reinforcement. Child, let me say it plainly, loneliness is a liar. It creeps in wearing the face of truth, whispering half phrases soaked in fear and coated in past disappointment. It echoes in empty rooms and mistaken silences, making you believe that my stillness equals absence. But hear me, I have never left your side. Not for a second. Not for a blink of eternity. You've mistaken my quiet for distance, but I've been closer than your breath, closer than the thoughts you couldn't even form into prayers. The sense of abandonment that clung to your chest like a wet garment, I'm tearing it off of you now. It was never yours to wear. That lie is breaking under the weight of my voice. You are not forsaken. You are not forgotten. You are not invisible in my eyes. You are engraved, not penciled, engraved into the palm of my hand. You were never waiting alone. You were waiting with angels stationed beside your tears, with heaven watching for the perfect moment to move. And that moment, child, is now. Let me expose the trick the enemy's been using. Isolation tries to convince you that no one sees, no one cares, no one is coming. It builds a case using your past disappointments, using the silence of others, the betrayals, the doors that didn't open. But I'm telling you, I never asked permission from man to move in your life. I don't need earthly applause to activate heavenly assistance. Yet because others didn't call, didn't check, didn't understand, doesn't mean I should still. No. I've been moving, planning, shielding, and scripting a divine delivery with your name sealed upon it. And today, reinforcement is being released. Not just comfort, not just reassurance, but real, living, breathing help. My spirit is coming in strength, not just to soothe, but to shift. Angels have already received orders. The reinforcements are on the way, not to repair what's broken with bandages, but to rebuild with blueprints. You will rise from this season, not limping in loss, but launching in legacy. This isn't a rescue mission. This is a restoration movement. And you are at the center of it. You didn't imagine the ache. It was real. You didn't fabricate the longing. It was divine. But I never intended for you to bear that ache alone. I allowed the ache so I could answer it in a way that no man could take credit for. And here's where it gets sacred. The reinforcement I'm sending isn't just for emotional relief. It's for spiritual establishment. I'm building something in you through this visitation. Something that won't waver the next time storms come. Something that won't crumble the next time loneliness tries to creep back in wearing its same old disguise. This reinforcement is permanent. My spirit, your helper, will not visit you as a guest. He is arriving as a resident. He is taking up space in your soul, not temporarily but eternally. From this moment on, you will feel the presence of one who doesn't sleep, doesn't slip, and doesn't leave when others do. This is not comfort in theory. This is companionship in reality. And child, I want you to understand the weight of this moment. You didn't earn this reinforcement by perfection. You received it by proximity. You stayed near, even when you didn't feel me. You kept looking up, even when the heavens felt closed. You held on, not because it was easy, but because somewhere deep down, you knew I was still worthy. And now, I am showing you just how worthy you are to me. I'm answering you with more than words. I'm answering you with my own presence. So breathe again. Lift your head. There is movement in the atmosphere. You are not alone. You never were. And now, what's coming will make sure you never feel that lie settle in again. The helper is arriving, and everything is about to change. The helper I send comes with eyes that see what you can't, with wisdom that calms storms before they reach your shore. There is a kind of sight that goes beyond vision, the kind that sees around corners, beneath surfaces, and into unseen realms. That's the kind of sight the helper I am sending possesses. You've been walking by faith, and though your faith is precious to me, I know the tension you felt from walking in the dark, trying to discern what's ahead without a map. I saw the pressure build, to make decisions, to choose directions, to interpret signs you weren't sure were even from me. And I watched how you tried to carry it all with courage. But child, let me release you from that pressure. The helper I'm sending is not blind to what's ahead. He sees in dimensions you cannot. He sees the trap before it's set. He sees the detour before it begins. He sees the people whose hearts are postured to harm, even when their words are polite. and he will guide you with eyes full of fire and clarity. He does not guess. He knows. And you, my beloved, will never have to guess again. This helper isn't moved by chaos. He's not intimidated by threats. He doesn't flinch when storms begin to rise. In fact, he anticipates them. He goes before you like a flame through fog, burning through confusion before you even know it's forming. That moment when your spirit suddenly feels uneasy for no reason, that's him. That moment when peace floods your heart in the middle of uncertainty, that's him. You've thought those were coincidences, but they weren't. They were coordinates. Signals from the helper I've placed within you. And now I am intensifying that connection. I'm tuning your ears to hear him clear. I'm sharpening your discernment so you stop second-guessing what he's already confirmed. No more pacing. No more piety. The helper comes with wisdom that doesn't wobble. Wisdom that isn't wishful. Wisdom that silences the storm before the storm even arrives. You've been asking me for clarity. You've prayed, Lord, just show me what to do. And I've heard that prayer every time, in traffic, in the shower, in late-night moments of mental exhaustion. And now, I'm not just answering it with signs. I'm answering it with strategy. This helper carries blueprints for your next move. He knows the timeline I've written for your life. He knows how to navigate you through the next season with steps ordered and anointed. But I need you to listen. Really listen. Not with ears of fear, but with ears of faith. Because what he speaks may not always make sense to your logic, but it will always make sense to your spirit. He's coming with divine interruptions, holy detours, and yes, even closed doors that protect you from what you don't yet perceive. But every step will be sacred. Every direction drenched in destiny. So pause, beloved. Receive this truth. You do not need to know everything. You just need to stay close to the one who does. The helper I send will walk you through shadows with the wisdom of a shepherd. He will not let you fall into traps laid by your enemy. He will not let you waste time where you were never meant to plant roots. He will whisper when the crowd gets loud. He will nudge you when the next step arrives. And when confusion tries to rise, his wisdom will settle you like an anchor. This isn't a temporary guide. This is an eternal companion. Let me lead you with eyes that see further than fear and wisdom that won't let you drown. You don't need to see it all. You just need to trust the one who does. And he is already on the way. You've been faithful, though weary. You've held on, though everything around you said to let go. That faith opened the gate for this divine appointment. Beloved, I saw you when the world turned away and weariness wrapped around your shoulders like a winter cloak. I saw how you kept pressing forward, even when the strength in your legs wasn't enough. I saw how your eyes searched the heavens for answers while your heart whispered, just one more reason to keep going. You weren't loud about it. You didn't announce your pain. You carried it in quiet obedience, a sacred kind of strength this world doesn't recognize but all of heaven reveres. And that, my child, that unwavering grip you held on my promises, even when the ground beneath you cracked, has not gone unnoticed. While others watched you and saw struggle, I watched you and saw sacrifice. You didn't just survive. You sowed. Every step forward in your weariness was a seed, and now, the garden you forgot you planted is beginning to bloom. Let me speak clearly. This moment you've stepped into, this divine appointment, was unlocked by obedience, not perfection. Your faith was tired, yes, but it was true, and I value true. I honor the hand that keeps building when no applause is heard. I bless the one who keeps kneeling even when the answer feels late. That's what you did. You stayed. When the winds of disappointment tried to uproot you, you stayed. When people misunderstood your silence and mocked your patience, you stayed. And now, the gates that looked sealed are opening, not by accident, not by pressure, but by divine alignment. This helper I send is not a random visitor. He is the fulfillment of promises I whispered long ago, promises you dared to believe even when your tears said otherwise. And here's the mystery, child. Weariness did not disqualify you. It qualified you. Your tired feet walked straight into a blessing only those refined by fire can carry. The weight of your waiting has built a foundation strong enough to handle what's being released. You didn't rush me. You didn't force your own door open. You waited. And now, the door I'm opening carries a fragrance that time could not spoil. This helper, this divine reinforcement, is not just for your today. He's arriving with the strength to carry you into your tomorrow, into your calling, into your clarity, into your healing. The blessings others tried to manufacture in their strength are now being placed in your hands without striving, because you believed when there was no reason left to believe. That kind of faith moves mountains. That kind of faith moves me. So now, let me move in return. Let me show you what faith and fatigue looks like when heaven responds. Let me honor every night you worshiped through weeping, every morning you rose even when hope felt dry. You didn't know it, but those quiet yeses were shaking the spirit realm. They were echoing louder than sermons, louder than declarations, because faith in weariness is louder in my courts than celebration in ease. And now, your echo has reached its fulfillment. The helper is arriving, the shift is real, and the harvest is holy. Open your hands, beloved, for what you carried in weariness, you will now receive in wonder. What you're feeling, that restlessness, that stirring, that sense that something is coming, is true. Because something has come. The holy dispatch hath been sent. You felt it, haven't you? That quiet unease that won't go away. That divine discomfort that wakes you up in the middle of the night, not with fear, but with a strange kind of expectancy. You sense something rising beneath the surface, like an invisible river swelling underground, ready to break through at any moment. And here I am now, confirming what your spirit already suspected. It's real. You weren't imagining it. That stirring, that sudden weeping without reason, that desire to declutter your soul, to isolate for a moment of breath, that was me. That was the prelude to a divine dispatch. My spirit hath been hovering over your atmosphere, waiting for this exact second to shift from preparation to activation. And now the activation is here. This restlessness wasn't random. It was revelatory. I've been pressing against the inside of your ribcage, nudging your spirit to make room. I wasn't trying to frustrate you. I was trying to flood you. Because what I've dispatched is too weighty to rest in a crowded soul. The helper I've sent comes not to settle into your routine, but to rebuild it. You felt the rumble of the ground beneath your comfort zones. You've heard the whisper behind your distractions. That holy discontent was a warning, not that something was wrong, but that something right was all away. And now, it has come. This moment, this collision between your ache and my answer, is sacred. The helper is not coming with questions. He is coming with blueprints. Not with sympathy, with strategy. And your restlessness was my signal to prepare you for it. Don't silence it. Don't soothe it away with temporary fixes. That stirring in your chest is the knock of destiny. It's not asking for permission to enter. It's alerting you to open wide. Because what's been dispatched is not coming to take a seat. It's coming to take over. The helper I send is not a guess. He's a giver. He comes to shift, to shake, to saturate. He's coming with the thunder of answered prayers wrapped in the stillness of divine wisdom. You won't fight for space in your life. You will fill it completely. So lean into the stirring. Don't fear it. Don't resist it. It's proof that you're aligned with heaven's heartbeat. It's evidence that your atmosphere is ripe for encounter. And beloved, this kind of encounter doesn't come often. This is not routine. This is revolution, spiritual, emotional, personal. So listen, the helper I've dispatched knows your name. He knows your history. He knows the hidden rooms of your soul that even you avoid. And he's not afraid of any of it. He comes with light for your darkest thoughts. He comes with fire for your coldest days. He comes with oil for your cracked, dry faith. This is not just stirring for the sake of sensation. This is the start of supernatural succession, where one act of obedience opens the floodgates of outpouring. You're not just being helped. You're being handed the future, not as a burden, but as a birthright. You've felt the labor pains. Now receive the promise. The helper is here, and the stirring you feel is not warning, it's welcoming. Let it rise. Let it lead you. Because the shift is no longer on the way. The shift is here. You prayed for help, not knowing the shape it would take. But I shaped an answer perfectly tailored to the weight you carry and the war you've endured. Beloved, there is nothing you've cried that hasn't formed a shape in heaven. Your sighs were sketches. Your groans were blueprints. The pain you didn't know how to describe became the architecture for my answer. I did not ignore you. I was forming what you could not yet name. You asked for help, yes. But you didn't know what help could look like after so much disappointment. You didn't dare picture specifics anymore. You just begged for relief. And that's where I stepped in. Because you no longer prayed with precision. You prayed with purity. You weren't manipulating my hand. You were opening your heart. And when a heart opens wide, I don't just hear, I move. I studied the weight you've carried. I felt every pressure point pressing into your spirit. And I went to work behind the veil, crafting a helper so customized, so precise, that not even your greatest imagination could have guessed it. I am not sending a generic rescue. I'm sending a holy remedy. Not a bandage for your brokenness, but a balm formed from the very oil pressed from your tears. You endured what others could not see. You warred in silence while wearing the face of calm. But I saw every inner tremor. I watched the silent earthquakes in your soul, the ones that shifted your perspective and scarred your confidence. I saw the times you thought, maybe I've asked for too much, and yet still whispered my name in the dark. That whisper wasn't weak, it was way. It moved the mountains of delay and dismantled the walls of withholding. That whisper formed a sound in heaven that could not be drowned out by time, trauma, or fear. And I responded, not with fragments, but with fullness. Not with concepts, but with presence. The helper I send hath been shaped to fit every corner of your ache and every corner of your assignment. Because I'm not just healing you, I'm sending you. I want you to hear this with your spirit wide open. The war you endured was not just for survival. It was for activation. You didn't come through the fire to return to normal. You came through to be launched. That's why the helper I send is not only strong, he's strategic. He knows how to speak to the hidden places. He knows how to rebuild what was dismantled by lies. He doesn't come with guesswork. He comes with God work, the handiwork of my hand, carved by compassion, delivered in divine timing. What I'm sending is shaped like restoration, shaped like strength, shaped like supernatural support that walks beside you like a shield and goes before you like a banner. I shaped this answer with your hands in mind. Not just any hands, your trembling hands, your faithful hands, your still open after everything hands. That's who this is for. So now, take a deep breath. The kind of breath that reaches the bottom of your lungs, the bottom of your soul. Because this is the moment where heaven meets history, where everything you survived becomes the foundation for what I now supply. The helper isn't just on the way. He's being unwrapped into your reality. And when he arrives, when you feel the sudden peace that doesn't make sense, when clarity begins to whisper where chaos once screamed, you'll know, this is what I was made for. You didn't know the shape of help, but I did. And now, what I formed in silence will speak louder than anything that ever tried to silence you. This helper carries what you no longer need to hold: fear, confusion, exhaustion, the ache of carrying burdens alone. My precious one, listen closely. You were never meant to hold it all. The load you've carried, the weight you wore like armor, the inner conversations that never stopped looping through your thoughts, they were never yours to hold this long. I watched you take on more than your frame could bear, not because you didn't trust me, but because you didn't know help was already on the way. You believed that if you let go, it would all fall apart. You believed that if you stopped holding it, no one else would. And that's where I step in now, with a holy contradiction to the lie that survival equals strength. Beloved, real strength is surrender. And I'm not standing at a distance asking you to be strong. I'm sending a helper whose hands are bigger than your burdens and whose arms are longer than your reach. He's not arriving to advise you. He's arriving to carry for you. Let me say it another way. You are not a beast of burden. You are a bearer of glory. And glory can't rest on exhausted shoulders. It's time to transfer the weight. I'm not asking for you to drop it all at once in a dramatic gesture. I'm asking you to hand it over piece by piece, moment by moment, breath by breath. The helper I send will know what to do with every part. He carries the authority to untangle confusion, to lift anxiety like mist from the morning sky. And he comes bearing rest that doesn't require vacation, peace that doesn't require understanding, joy that isn't attached to outcomes. You've walked through enough wilderness to know what fatigue feels like in the bones. But now, I'm inviting you to feel what freedom feels like in the soul. And it starts here, with a divine exchange. Your burdens for his breath, your pressure for his presence, your exhaustion for his everlasting. Let me remind you of something eternal. I never called you to carry what crushes. I called you to walk light. My yoke is easy. My burden is light. But you've been carrying yokes I never placed, expectations I never assigned, deadlines I didn't write. And now, the helper is arriving to sever the straps of spiritual heaviness. He comes not just with strength, but with permission. Permission to rest. Permission to release. Permission to live without the constant hum of anxiety vibrating through your chest. You've been waiting for someone to understand. And now, understanding is on its way, clothed in the language of the Spirit, fluent in the dialect of your pain, and drenched in the oil of my compassion. Let him carry what you can't anymore. Let him touch what you've buried beneath function. Let him breathe where you've only managed to cope. And don't be afraid to feel the lightness. You've lived so long under pressure that peace will feel unfamiliar at first. But trust me, you weren't created to crumble. You were created to carry glory. The helper comes with open hands and supernatural strength. He is not intimidated by the depth of your weariness. He is not startled by the weight of what you've been holding. He's ready. And I am watching with joy as you begin to release, to rest, to receive. No more walking through life like a ghost of your own story. No more dragging your soul through days like a bag of bones. I'm breathing beauty into your burden. And I'm doing it through the helper, the one who carries what you no longer need to hold. Trust him. Trust me. The shift is here. You won't have to explain your pain. The helper I'm sending is fluent in your tears, familiar with your hidden cries, and has already begun intervening behind the veil. My precious child, I know how tired you are of trying to translate your pain into words. I've seen you reach for language only to be met with silence, not because you didn't want to speak, but because the ache was too ancient, too layered, too sacred to fit inside sentences. I've watched you in rooms where your voice felt muffled, where your soul's cry was misunderstood or ignored. You've tried to explain it. You've tried to dress it up in palatable phrases. But the truth is, what you carry is beyond human comprehension. And that's why I am sending a helper who needs no interpretation. He doesn't require an explanation. He's fluent in the dialect of your suffering. He speaks tear. He understands sigh. He reads silence as a sacred language. Every groan, every moment your chest tightened and no one noticed, he noticed. I noticed. You've been carrying pain layered in secrecy. Pain wrapped in performance. Pain hidden beneath responsibility and resilience. But no more. I am stepping in, not to demand articulation, but to deliver intervention. This helper has already begun moving where words failed. He has entered the chambers of your heart where memories still echo, where wounds haven't closed, where disappointments still whisper at night. Behind the veil of what others can't see, he has been working. Vitally, faithfully, strategically. I did not wait for you to collapse before I moved. I moved the moment your spirit whispered, I can't keep doing this. You didn't have to fall apart for me to notice. You didn't have to explain why you were unraveling. I saw the unraveling before the thread even snapped. And I sent help before you asked the right words. That's what love does. That's what I do. I need you to understand this with all your heart. Your pain is not foreign to me. I do not flinch when your soul trembles. I do not look away when you weep. And neither does the helper. He was crafted in communion with my heart. He was formed from a fire of compassion. He doesn't arrive confused or curious. He arrives convinced. He knows what to do with your mess. He knows how to navigate your numbness. He knows how to minister in the moments when you don't want to talk to anyone, not even me. That's the beauty of this dispatch. He isn't coming to question your pain. He's coming to qualify it, to affirm it, to sit in it, and then, slowly, gently, to begin lifting it, piece by sacred piece. You won't need to perform. You won't need to pretend. He is sent to meet the real you, the weary you, the you keep hidden. So rest now, not just physically, but emotionally. Take off the armor. Let the walls fall. Let the tears come. Let the ache rise without shame. Because finally, there is someone in the room who understands every nuance of your sorrow. And he's not here to judge. He's here to join you in the very center of it. The helper I send is not a therapist from heaven. He is a warrior, a comforter, a translator of torment turned testimony. He's not just sent to listen. He's sent to lift. And even now, the lifting has begun. Breathe, child. The one I sent knows your heart before you open your mouth. You will not have to explain what broke you, because I'm sending someone who already carries the blueprint for your breakthrough. Seamless transition from the helper's arrival and weakness to their invitation to respond with strength. And now, as the helper steps into your weakness, I'm asking you to step into someone else's breakthrough. Your heart's right now crying out in silence. And this word, this message, is their lifeline. I have said, freely you have received, now freely give. Matthew 10:8. And I say it again, now. When you pour into this well through super thanks, membership, or a gift through PayPal, you don't just support a message, you release living water into someone else's desert. This is how my word multiplies, not by accident, but through the obedience of the willing. And I will bless every seed you plant with supernatural increase, pressed down, shaken together, and running over. Do it now. Don't wait. Go to the link and move with me. This is not just help. This is heaven's intervention, personalized for your circumstance, wrapped in authority, and sealed with my presence. Beloved, what I am sending you is not random relief. This is not a spiritual pick-me-up. This is not a motivational moment or a comforting idea to get you through the day. What I am releasing now is intervention, divine, decisive, deliberate. The heavens have leaned in, and the dispatch has gone out with your name etched into its seal. This isn't help born of chance. This is the collision of my sovereignty with your surrender. You didn't stumble into this moment. You were summoned. And now, what's arriving carries not only the solution to your current need, but the keys to unlock what's been delayed, denied, and buried. The helper I send carries my signature, my scent, my authority. It's not borrowed. It's not secondhand. It's directly from the courts of my counsel, designed for your life, your story, your timing. You've been surrounded by suggestions, opinions that sounded spiritual, advice that felt wise, but none of them carried the weight of my voice. And that's why this intervention will feel different. It won't ask for permission to interrupt your patterns. It will simply begin shifting them. You'll begin to notice moments where clarity cuts through confusion like lightning through fog. You'll feel the subtle but sacred pressure of my presence reshaping your steps, not in dramatic ways at first, but in divine increments that cannot be reversed. This helper doesn't just carry answers, he carries atmosphere. But he enters, heaviness flees. When he speaks, every false agreement you made with fear begins to shatter. And it's not because you finally got it right. It's because you stayed long enough for heaven to respond. This isn't random. It's recompense. This is me proving that your faith, even when fragile, is still dangerous to the enemy's plans. Let me tell you what's happening behind the veil while you read these words. Instructions are being released. Angels are being deployed. Strategies are being unveiled. Not next week. Not next season. Now. Because when I intervene, I do not wait for approval from time. I bend time. I override delay. I silence the voice of the accuser. I step in and say, enough. And this is that moment for you. Enough confusion. Enough survival. Enough second-guessing yourself. Enough wandering in circles while clarity waits at the door. The helper I send is your holy escort into precision, into power, into peace. This intervention isn't about making things easier. It's about making things divinely aligned. And alignment will cost you your coping mechanisms. But oh, what it will give you in return. So hear me, heaven's hand is on your shoulder now. You may not feel it with your skin, but your spirit knows. That tug, that pressure, that stirring, it's me. It's now. The helper doesn't carry a temporary fix. He carries an eternal force. He walks in with the thunder of my authority and the whisper of my love. The moment you yield, he acts. The moment you believe, he builds. The moment you agree, he accelerates. This is heaven's intervention, not a hope, not a guess, but a guarantee backed by the blood of the Lamb and the breath of the living God. And child, it's yours. Take it. The heaviness that made it hard to breathe is lifting. Not because of your striving, but because my spirit is now near in a way you've not felt before. Beloved, I have seen the way the weight has sat on your chest like a silent stone, invisible to others, but suffocating to you. You've been functioning while slowly breaking, smiling while inwardly seeking. The breath you've tried to take has often been shallow, not just in your lungs, but in your spirit. Life has been a room with low ceilings, heavy, closing in, dim. But hear me now, that heaviness, that pressing, that invisible fog that has clouded your peace and muted your joy, it is lifting. Not because you worked harder, not because you finally said the right prayer, but because I, your Father, have stepped in. I'm not watching from a distance. I'm not sending help as an outsider. I've come near. Closer than pain. Closer than panic. Closer than the thoughts that have tormented you in the silence of your nights. You've been asking yourself, why do I feel this constant weight? Why can't I shake this? And you've tried, oh, how you've tried. You've spoken affirmations. You quoted scriptures. You smiled through suffering. But none of it seemed to lift the cloud. That's because some heaviness isn't meant to be wrestled with. It's meant to be broken. And child, that's what's happening now. The helper I have sent carries not only comfort, but authority. He is not coming to sit with the heaviness. He's come to drive it out. He is shifting the atmosphere around you, but more importantly, the atmosphere within you. The thick fog of fear is thinning. The chains of anxiety are cracking. That pressure that has lived like a silent passenger in your soul is being uprooted. Because where my spirit is, liberty lives. And he is not visiting. He is dwelling. You'll notice it. The sudden moments of deep breath. The way your thoughts slow down instead of spiraling. The unexpected sense of calm in situations that used to shake you. These aren't mood changes. These are miracles in motion. This is how my spirit moves, subtle like wind, yet strong enough to level mountains. And no, this isn't just emotional relief. This is spiritual release. You are not imagining the lightness. That is the evidence of your healing. That is the first sign that the helper is doing exactly what I sent him to do. The oppression that came like a storm is now meeting a storm chaser, and he will not rest until you are fully free. I am not content to see you partially relieved. I am committed to your total restoration. So inhale, beloved. Inhale deeply, not just with your lungs but with your soul. Take in the atmosphere of my nearness. Take in the scent of freedom. This is what breathing feels like when it's no longer restricted by fear. This is what life feels like when you are no longer weighed down by sorrow pretending to be normal. You are stepping into a space of grace where heaviness has no legal right to stay. The helper is with you, not beside you only, but within you. Let the truth replace every lie that said, you'll always feel this way. No, child. The shift is not coming. It has come. And the weight is lifting because I'm the one lifting it. I am not sending noise. I'm sending clarity. This helper will silence the lies, uproot the doubt, and ignite your weary faith. Child, I know the noise has been deafening. The constant swirl of thoughts, the conflicting voices, the fears that masquerade as reason. The enemy has tried to drown out my voice in your life by turning up the volume of everything else. He's used distraction, delay, disappointment, not just to discourage you, but to disorient you. You've been trying to walk forward, but every step has felt like walking through a fog. And the fog, my love, is not just confusion. It is warfare. It is a spiritual assault meant to make you question what I told you, what I promised, what I've already begun. But I am not a god of confusion, and I am not standing back while your mind is tangled in chaos. I am sending clarity. I am sending truth that pierces through distortion like sunlight splitting through a storm. I am sending a helper who doesn't whisper opinion. He speaks with authority. This helper, my spirit, will not argue with your doubts. He will evict them. He will not coddle your fear, he will confront it. Not hardly, not with shame, but with a forcefulness that only love can carry. Because the lies you've believed have built walls inside you, and he's coming to tear them down, not brick by brick, but with one holy roar. You believe you're too late, but you missed it. That maybe I moved on. You've questioned if what you heard was real, if the dream was just emotional noise. But beloved, I'm silencing the static now. I'm tuning your spirit back to the frequency of heaven. And the helper I send is your divine interpreter. He knows how to separate my voice from the chaos. He knows how to confirm what's real and cancel what was never true. He will not just clear the fog, he will ignite the fire. That's the other thing. This clarity won't just bring peace. It will bring passion. You've been walking through life trying to maintain. Now, you'll begin to burn again. The helper isn't just here to instruct. He's here to ignite. That flame you thought went out. That purpose that felt buried. That faith you thought you lost. He's breathing on it. He's blowing wind into your spirit where only ashes remained. You're not done, child. You're not stuck. You're not fading into the background. I'm calling you back to the front lines, not wounded, but wild with purpose. And it starts here, with clarity that rewrites your inner narrative, with vision that breaks the fog, and with the voice of the helper thundering louder than the lies. So turn your ear toward me now. Let the world quiet. Let your thoughts still. There is a voice inside you that does not tremble, and it's rising again. The voice of my spirit, the helper, the one who speaks not just to inform, but to transform. You will not walk in confusion. You will not drown in doubt. You will not spend another season trying to decipher what's from me. Because now, I send clarity. Now, I send the voice that knows your name and knows the way. The fog is lifting. The fire is returning. And your spirit is about to hear again, clearly, powerfully, unmistakably. Because I am not sending noise. I'm sending me. I've seen how you've tried to hold it all together, but you were never created to be your own savior. The helper I send will take the pressure off your shoulders and place it in my hands. Beloved, you've been carrying so much, and I've watched you try to juggle it all with trembling hands and a heart that's been fraying at the edges. You've been the strong one, the one others lean on, the one who smiles even when your soul is crying behind your eyes. You've walked through days that drained you, yet you kept showing up. But hear me, child, you were not created to be Atlas, holding the world on your shoulders. You were not designed to be everyone's answer while you secretly wrestle your own questions. You've been holding yourself together with threads made of hope and grit, and I honor the courage that's brought you this far. But now it's time to release. I'm not asking you to fall apart. I'm inviting you to fall into me. Let me speak this plainly. You do not have to keep pretending you're okay. Not with me. You don't need to be the hero of your own story. That's my job. That's my role. You've taken on pressures that weren't yours, burdens I never assigned, expectations that never came from heaven. You've worn masks to protect others from your pain, and I have watched with tears in my eyes. Because I didn't create you to perform. I created you to belong. And now, the helper I send is coming not to judge your exhaustion, but to interrupt it. He comes with arms wide enough to carry what you cannot and strong enough to dismantle the myth that you have to do it all alone. The pressure, the mental strain, the emotional fatigue, he's placing it in my hands. Your healing doesn't depend on your ability to hold everything together. It depends on your willingness to let go. This is what surrender really looks like, not waving a flag of defeat, but opening your hands and saying, God, I can't carry this anymore, and I believe you never meant for me to. And I will meet you there, in that moment of raw honesty, not with condemnation, not with correction, but with comfort. And that comfort isn't abstract. It has a name, a face, a force, the helper, my spirit, who comes not just to support you emotionally, but to shift your entire reality. He will teach you how to live light, how to breathe deep again, how to remember that it was never your strength holding your life together, it's mine. I will show you what it feels like to rest while still running your race. I will teach you the difference between responsibility and rescue, and how I am both your father and your deliverer. So take this in, beloved. Let these words become the soundtrack of your spirit. You are not the source. You are not the answer. You are not the rescuer. I am. And now, the helper I send will begin peeling off the layers of pressure, expectation, and performance that have wrapped themselves around your soul. You'll begin to feel lightness again, not because life is perfect, but because you finally realize you don't have to be. This is your holy permission to release. I'm taking the pressure. I'm absorbing the weight. I'm reclaiming what was never yours to carry. And I'm doing it not by force but by love. You're safe now. Let go. I've got it. I've always had it. I'm not just sending help for the storm. I'm releasing wisdom for the future, blueprints that will rebuild everything the enemy tried to destroy. Now listen to me, beloved. This helper is not arriving just to calm today's chaos. I know what I'm sending carries more than comfort. It carries construction plans. You've survived enough storms. You've withstood enough battles. But I did not bring you through the fire just to sit in the ashes. The season of surviving is now giving way to the season of strategic rebuilding. I know how much has been lost. I know how much was stripped away in the storm. Time, peace, relationships, vision. You watched things collapse that you thought would last forever. And in the aftermath, you've wondered if you'll ever get it back. But child, what's coming isn't a repeat of what was. It's a rebuild from glory. A restoration that doesn't just restore what you lost. It redefines what's possible. You've prayed for peace, and I'm giving it. But I'm also giving you blueprints. This helper, my spirit, is not just an emotional support. He's a divine architect. He sees the cracks in the foundation of your life, not to shame you, but to strengthen you. He's not coming to patch holes. He's coming to lay down new stone, firm and eternal. I'm talking about supernatural strategies. Ideas you couldn't have imagined. Clarity you didn't even know you needed. Wisdom that overrides the lies that once ruled your decision-making. What the enemy destroyed, I will rebuild. Better, stronger, fireproof. And not by might, not by power, but by my spirit, says the Lord. You will begin to dream again, not from a place of fear, but from a place of fullness. You'll receive instructions in your sleep. You'll feel nudges during your daily routine. Insights will flash across your mind like divine downloads. And you will say, I would have never thought of that. And I will whisper exactly, because it came from me. The helper I send isn't reacting. He's revealing. He's been waiting for this moment, when your heart was open enough to receive not just a rescue, but a rebuilding plan. This is divine architecture unfolding. And you, my beloved, are not a passive observer. You are a builder with me. You are rising as a co-laborer in the kingdom. You are stepping into the blueprint stage, and everything I show you will have purpose. So take heart, child. Don't let the ruin scare you. Don't let the silence of others convince you that nothing is happening. Oh, it's happening. And what's coming is not just restoration, it's revolution. What I rebuild will bless others. What rises from your ruins will become refuge for many. This helper isn't just leading you out. He's leading you into wisdom, into favor, into supernatural infrastructure that no storm can shake again. This isn't survival anymore. This is the beginning of construction. And it's already begun. Watch me build. Watch me bless. Watch me breathe on blueprints you didn't even know were waiting to be revealed. You've been asking me for breakthrough, but I'm sending something even greater. A helper who will teach you how to walk in permanent transformation, not just momentary relief. Beloved, I hear your cries for breakthrough. You've whispered it in the silence of your bedroom, shouted it in the silence of your soul. God, I just need something to break. And I understand that longing, that ache for the weight to shift, for the door to open, for the delay to end. And yes, I do bring breakthrough. Yes, I shatter chains and split seas and overturn impossible situations. But I want to tell you something deeper, something more enduring than a single miraculous moment. I'm not just responding to your cry with a breakthrough. I'm answering it with a helper. Because I don't want to only break you out. I want to lead you into maturity, into endurance, into peace that doesn't fade when the next battle comes. I'm not after temporary relief. I'm after permanent transformation. There's a difference between deliverance and development, and you've been faithful in the former. But now, I'm drawing you into the latter. The helper I send isn't just a deliverer. He's a developer. He's not just here to shake the prison walls. He's here to build you into a fortress. You've asked for me to move quickly. And yes, I can move in an instant. But I love you too much to only give you speed. I'm giving you substance. Because what I'm building inside you is not fragile. It's not surface deep. It's not dependent on your emotions or your circumstances. It's anchored in truth, anchored in grace, anchored in the very spirit of the living God. This helper is not seasonal. He's not situational. He's eternal. And his job is not just to push you forward. It's to make sure you stay free once you get there. Do you see it now? Do you feel it? The breakthrough you've been craving is already taking root, not around you but within you. It starts in your thinking, in your habits, in your conversations with yourself that no one hears but me. The helper is already at work, rearranging your inner landscape, healing how you see yourself, righting the false conclusions the enemy planted in the soil of your trauma. He's not coming with a magic wand. He's coming with truth that doesn't budge. And as you begin to walk with him daily, not just in desperation, but in devotion, you will start to notice something holy. Things that once tripped you up no longer move you. Triggers that used to spark fear or spiral now meet silence. Temptations that once lured you will start losing their voice. Because transformation has begun. Because truth has found a home in you. And this isn't just a moment of breakthrough. This is a movement of becoming. So let go of the idea that breakthrough is only loud, only dramatic, only sudden. Sometimes it comes like a wind, other times like a whisper. And right now, it's coming in the form of a helper, steady, sure, divine. You will walk with you through the fog until the sun rises. You will teach you how to breathe differently, think differently, respond differently. Not because you're trying harder, but because you're trusting deeper. And that, beloved, is the kind of transformation the gates of hell cannot undo. So yes, I am sending breakthrough. But better still, I'm sending the one who will teach you how to never go back to who you were before it came. This is not just deliverance. This is destiny. And the helper has already begun. There are doors you've been knocking on that haven't opened, not because I'm withholding, but because I'm preparing the helper to walk through them with you. You've been asking, God, why hasn't it opened yet? Why hasn't it happened yet? And your heart has grown tired in the waiting. Your knuckles feel raw from knocking on doors that stay shut. You've watched others step into seasons you've prayed for, and still, you've been met with silence. And I see that ache. I see the questions that swirl, even when your faith still speaks. But hear me, what's been delayed was never a denial. It was preparation, not punishment, not rejection, but divine choreography. Because what you're asking for, what you're longing for, is too heavy to carry alone. And so I've waited, not for your perfection, but for the helper's activation. I've waited until your heart was ready to receive not just the door, but the companion who will walk through it beside you. You see, there are places I'm taking you that require more than human wisdom. Assignments I'm handing you that carry more than surface-level strategy. There are people you're called to impact, promises you're called to steward, regions you're called to shift, and none of it was meant to be managed by your strength alone. That's why I withheld certain openings, because without the helper beside you, they would have crushed you. They would have consumed you. But now, things are different. Now, I've made room in your spirit. And now, your dependence has matured. And now the helper is being released with you in mind. He's not a footnote to your destiny. He is central to it. He is the one who will walk beside you through the open door and ensure that you don't just arrive, but that you thrive. And when the doors begin to open, and they will, you will understand the delay. You will thank me for it. You will weep at my timing. Because what's on the other side is not light. It's legacy. It's not just opportunity. It's ordination. And it requires more than access. It requires anointing. The helper comes carrying that anointing. The discernment you'll need in the next season. The strength you will need in relationships that carry weight. The wisdom to build what lasts, not what looks impressive. He is not coming to stand behind you. He is walking with you. Every room you enter, he will enter. Every conversation you have, he will counsel. Every decision you make, he will confirm or correct. And because of him, the doors that once terrified you will now become temples of glory. So lift your head, child. I have not forgotten you. I have not mocked your persistence. I have seen every knock, every prayer, every midnight plea. And now, I'm telling you, the doors you've been waiting for are aligned with the helper I am releasing. You're not walking through them alone. You never were meant to. This isn't just about access. It's about companionship. This is the kind of breakthrough that walks on 2 feet, not only with authority, but with assurance. The helper will walk through every threshold with you, and you will walk not in fear, but in fire. Not in insecurity, but in intimacy with me. The doors will open. But even more important, you won't have to walk through them alone anymore. The helper I send will not just surround you, He will dwell within you, reminding you who you are when the world tries to make you forget. My beloved, the battle to remember who you are has been fierce, hasn't it? Not just the outer wars, but the inner one. A war of identity. The whispers of the enemy that creep into your quietest moments, twisting your worth, distorting your purpose, questioning your place in my story. You've heard the lies. You're not enough. You've missed it. You're too broken. Too late. But hear me now. Those lies are not just wrong, they are illegal. And that is why I am sending the Helper, not just to comfort you, not just to walk beside you, but to dwell within you. He comes to serve as a divine reminder of the truth that no circumstance can erase, no failure can revoke, and no enemy can override. You are mine. This Helper, my Spirit, does not visit you like a guest. He inhabits you like a home. He knows the rooms of your soul that you've locked. He knows the stories you've hidden beneath smiles. He's not shocked by your shadows. He is not intimidated by your insecurities. And when the world tries to rename you, with shame, with comparison, with voices that echo past failures, he rises up from within you like a holy fire and says, "That's not who you are." He reminds you that you are chosen, that you are beloved, that your name is written not just in a book, but on my heart. This Helper speaks in moments of stillness, in the pause before you spiral, in the breath before you doubt. And when you let him speak, identity becomes a fortress that no storm can shatter. And this is so important, child. He doesn't remind you of who you are with dry facts. He reminds you with fire, with authority, with anointing. This isn't just comfort, it's confrontation. The kind that exposes the lies you've grown used to believing. The kind that calls you out of agreement with fear, that confronts the false labels others gave you and declares that is not your name. The Helper won't just make you feel better. He will restore your identity, not with mantras, but with the marrow of divine truth. Because when you know who you are in me, everything changes. Your posture changes. Your decisions shift. Your spiritual spine straightens. Because identity is not a feeling. It's a foundation. And the Helper I send is coming to rebuild what shame tried to erode. So let him speak, beloved. Let him echo louder than the voices that haunt your memories. Let him flood your soul with reminders that you are not forgotten. You are not behind. You are not broken beyond repair. You are a temple, not a target. You are a carrier of the kingdom, not a casualty of your past. And the Helper isn't arriving late. He's arriving right on time. To whisper in your spirit what you've forgotten in your fight. You are mine. Still. Always. Unrelentingly. Let this identity become your immunity. Let it become your grounding. Let the Helper do what he came to do. Not just walk with you, but speak through you until the sound of truth silences the scream of every lie. This is your reminder, not just from heaven, but from the Holy One who lives within. The Helper I send carries not only comfort but confrontation. You will expose every lie that has kept you bound and lead you into truth that sets you free. My beloved, I would not be a good father if I only comforted you in your chains but never broke them. I love you far too deeply to soothe what I came to shatter. Yes, I see your tears. Yes, I hold your heart. But I also carry a sword, and this Helper I send carries it too. Because there are lies that have wrapped around your identity like ivy, choking the truth of who you are, strangling the destiny I placed within you. And I will not allow them to stay. The Helper is coming not just to dry your tears, but to deal with the tormentors. He is not intimidated by the strongholds you've lived with. He's not here to negotiate with the lies. He's here to confront them. Because, child, you've been bound long enough. There are beliefs you've adopted, agreements you've signed in silence, with fear, with insecurity, with limitation, that have governed your decisions and shaped your expectations. And now, the Helper is stepping in with the authority of heaven to cancel every contract the enemy forged through deception. You thought you were being realistic, but you were agreeing with lies. You thought you were protecting yourself, but you were partnering with fear. And this isn't to shame you, it's to free you. Because every lie you've believed has placed a ceiling above your calling. And I didn't make you to live beneath ceilings. I made you to dwell in open heaven. So the Helper is coming to expose, not to embarrass, but to liberate. He will shine light on the roots of rejection, on the hidden vows you've made. I'll never trust again. I'll never try again. I'll always have to do this alone. Those are not truths. They are chains. And I am sending the one who breaks them. This confrontation might not always feel comfortable, but it is kind. Because true love doesn't leave you in bondage. True love tells you the truth, even when it stings, so that healing can begin. And that's what's happening now. Healing. At the level of your beliefs, your patterns, your inner dialogue. This Helper doesn't just deal with behavior. He deals with belief systems. He'll go to the roots. He'll touch the places you've ignored for years. The places where trauma took root and told you who you were. And in those places, he will speak a better word, a stronger word, a healing word. And as he speaks, you'll feel chains breaking you didn't even realize you were still dragging behind you. The light will flood in, and the darkness will have a corner to hide. So don't run from the confrontation, child. Embrace it. Welcome it. For it is the doorway to your freedom. The Helper isn't here to scold you. He's here to restore you. He is fierce against your oppressors and tender toward your soul. That's who he is. And that's what he's doing, even now. Lies are being dismantled. Strongholds are being uprooted. False identities are being cast down. And truth, divine, eternal, liberating truth, is taking up residence. You will know the truth, and the truth will set you free. And the Helper I send is coming to make sure you never forget it again. Even in your lowest moments, I never stopped watching, never stopped planning, never stopped preparing this divine appointment. The Helper I send is proof that your pain was never wasted. My child, I want you to pause and breathe in this one truth. I never took my eyes off you. Not once. Not even in the moments when your vision was so blurred by tears you couldn't see me. Not even in the nights when you felt like you were praying into a void, asking questions that were met with silence. I saw everything. The hidden breakdowns behind closed doors. The slow, quiet heartbreak of deferred hope. The clenched fists under blankets when you tried to be strong. You thought I wasn't moving because I didn't respond how you expected. But child, I wasn't ignoring you. I was preparing something better than your pain. What felt like delay was design. And now, the Helper I've been forming in the secret is stepping into your story like the chapter you didn't know was already written in heaven. You must understand, I don't overlook suffering. I redeem it. I don't watch wounds fester. I weave them into testimonies. Every scar you carry, every season of silence, every breath you thought was your last at battle, I was collecting them. Not as trophies of your suffering, but as ingredients for your supernatural restoration. You cried out, "Where are you, God?" And though it felt like absence, I was closer than your skin. My hand never left your heart. I was stitching together your rescue long before you saw the signs. And now, here it comes, not as random relief but as intentional, divine appointment. The helper you're about to meet is not just my answer. He is my evidence that you were seen, heard, and always part of the plan. He comes not just to comfort the wounded parts of you, but to confirm that you didn't suffer in vain. The loneliness, he saw it. The losses, he mourned them with you. The confusion, he hovered over it like a dove, waiting for the moment he could bring order out of chaos. And now that moment has arrived. He comes bearing clarity, compassion, and confirmation that your prayers were never wasted breath, that your pain wasn't proof of my absence. It was the soil for something sacred. You thought you were in the dark alone, but I was building a holy unveiling. And now, the curtain is being pulled back. This is not just help. This is heaven's vindication. What broke you is now about to bless you. What drained you is now about to be refilled with glory. So take this moment and let the revelation settle deep. I've been planning this the entire time. The helper I send is not showing up late. He's showing up right on time, carrying restoration you didn't even know how to ask for. And that ache you've been carrying in your chest, it's being met with divine comfort. That confusion you've been battling in your mind, it's being silenced by truth. This isn't a small thing. This is me declaring, your pain has purpose. Your waiting has weight. Your faith has triggered something heavenly. And now, the one I send comes carrying everything you didn't even realize you needed. You're not forgotten. You're favored. And what's arriving is your proof. Seamless transition from the declaration that the helper has come, and so has your moment. You heard me. You felt me. And now I'm asking you to respond in faith. The same spirit that just met you is ready to meet thousands more through your obedience. For I have declared, those who sow generously will also reap generously. 2 Corinthians 9:6. And I speak that over you now. As you give through super thanks, membership, or the link in the description, you are sowing fire into the field of souls, and I will pour out my reward. This is not just support. This is sending the helper forward. You are releasing oil. You are releasing light. You are releasing me. Move now, child. Send it, and watch me multiply it. You thought you had to fight this alone, but now I'm showing you. The battle is no longer yours. The helper is stepping in, and the victory is already written. My beloved, you've grown so accustomed to surviving that you forgot what it feels like to rest. You've been in fight mode so long, clenched and braced, waiting for the next blow, the next disappointment, the next letdown, that you almost forgot you weren't meant to live that way. And I've watched you. I've seen you armor up each morning, not because you wanted to, but because you felt like you had to. I saw the way you held your head up for others while secretly wondering how long you could keep going. And through it all, I've been whispering, the battle is not yours. Let me fight for you. But now I'm not just whispering. I'm intervening. The helper I send is stepping into the fight. And child, the shift is already happening. This war you've been in, the invisible one, the internal one, it has drained more than your energy. It has tried to erode your faith, tried to convince you that this is just how it is now. But I did not create you to be a casualty of spiritual warfare. I created you to conquer. And not through human strength, not through gritted teeth and forced faith, but through my spirit. That's why I'm sending the helper, not to assist you in your efforts, but to replace your striving with my strategy. He fights with the authority of heaven. He silences the accuser. He breaks the cycles. He knows how to dismantle what has entangled your mind. And the most powerful thing about this helper, He doesn't just win the battle. He reminds you the battle is already won. Victory is not something you chase. It's something you receive. And that's where I'm bringing you now, into a posture of trust, where your heart finally believes, I'm not alone in this. Because you never were. You just didn't always feel it. The helper is not entering your life as a last-minute rescue. He is walking in as the fulfillment of a promise that was written before your battle even began. Before the attack started, I had already planned your triumph. Before the lies came, I had already spoken the truth that would expose and dismantle them. You've been swinging at shadows, trying to fight a war in your own strength. But now, the one I send is going to teach you how to stand in victory, not just fight for survival. And listen to me, beloved. When he steps in, you'll begin to feel it. The tension in your soul will start to loosen. The pressure will begin to fade. Your spirit will rise where it once shrank. Because where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is liberty. Liberty from the fear. Liberty from the striving. Liberty from the cycles that made you think breakthrough was impossible. This isn't just another battle cry. This is a divine decree. The war has turned. The helper has arrived. And the ground that once shook beneath your feet will now become the stage for your victory. You thought you had to do this alone. But now, heaven is proving otherwise. The victory isn't pending. It's prepared. And it's yours. The helper is not coming empty-handed. He's bringing supernatural gifts, tailored to your calling, forged in heaven, and ready for immediate use. My precious one, listen closely now, for I am not only sending help, I am sending heaven's arsenal. You have cried out for strength, for wisdom, for direction. But what I'm sending carries more than answers. It carries equipment. The helper I send is not arriving with empty hands. He is coming with gifts, supernatural endowments, heavenly tools crafted specifically for the weight and wonder of your assignment. These aren't generic blessings. They are tailor-made for you, formed in a furnace of eternity, designed with your exact path in mind. Because the calling on your life is not small, and the opposition you faced has not been random. The enemy has fought you so violently because what I've placed inside you is dangerous to darkness. But now, I release what you need to move forward, not limping but launching. The helper comes bearing wisdom that surpasses your intellect, discernment that cuts through confusion, faith that ignites when logic fails, words that carry weight, not just noise, and power, not abstract or performative, but real power that breaks yokes, heals wounds, and changes atmospheres. These gifts are not reserved for the elite. They are not earned by effort. They are freely given through the helper I send. And they are arriving not tomorrow, not someday, but now. Because the time for stagnation is over. The season of spiritual sleep is ending. And with this helper comes activation. What was dormant will waken. What was buried will rise. What you thought was lost is about to be revealed in greater measure. And yes, you'll feel the shift. Suddenly, scriptures will speak louder. Your prayers will carry more weight. You'll begin sensing things in the spirit before they manifest. You'll feel boldness rise where timidity once ruled. You'll move with a confidence that doesn't come from personality, but from presence. That is the mark of the helper. He doesn't just inform you, he equips you. Not so that you can perform, but so you can fulfill. So you can step into what I've written about you in heaven's books. Child, the weapons of your warfare are not carnal, but mighty, and the helper is the one placing them in your hands. He'll show you how to wield them. He'll teach your hands to war. You will not be overwhelmed by the next battle. You will be overfitted for it. Because I never send my children into war empty-handed. I always provide what's needed for the victory I've already declared. So receive it. Don't argue with your limitations. Don't disqualify yourself based on what you lack. I've never needed your perfection, only your permission. And now that you've opened your heart, the helper comes with everything you didn't even know to ask for. This isn't just spiritual support. It's supernatural supply. You will not run on empty anymore. You will not second-guess your authority. You will not wonder if you have what it takes, because the helper is bringing it with him. Heaven's gifts, customized, unshakable, ready, and child there for you. The silence you endured wasn't punishment, it was preparation. The helper is now releasing the words, the insight, and the clarity you've been waiting for. My beloved, I know what the silence has felt like. I know how heavy it's been to walk through seasons where you couldn't hear me the way you used to, where the stillness echoed louder than answers, and the waiting felt like abandonment. You asked, did I do something wrong? You questioned whether I had turned away or grown distant. But let me speak truth to your heart now. The silence was never punishment. It was preparation. I wasn't withholding my voice to hurt you. I was training your spirit to listen differently, to discern not just the volume of my words, but the weight of my presence. You've matured in that silence. Your roots have gone deeper. Your desperation turned into dependency. And now that your heart has become fertile ground, I am releasing the helper to bring what you've been waiting for. This helper, my spirit, speaks with the voice that calms storms and resurrects dreams. He does not chatter. He jardes. He does not ramble. He reveals. And he is now beginning to release the very clarity you've been praying for. About your next step, about your relationships, about the assignments waiting on the other side of this valley. You're not being teased with hope. You're being trusted with revelation. And the helper will not give you vague encouragements. He will deliver sharp, surgical insight, words that cut through fear, phrases that uproot confusion, strategies that restore the pieces of your life into divine order. You'll hear him in the small moments, a tug in your spirit, a scripture that won't let go, a whisper that stirs tears. That's not your mind. That's me. It's the helper. And he's speaking now. The reason you didn't receive it earlier is not because I didn't love you. It's because you weren't yet ready to recognize it. But now, your ears have been tuned. Your eyes have been sharpened. And the very silence that felt like emptiness has become the soil of divine discernment. You are about to hear me like never before, not because I've changed, but because you have. You'll recognize my hand in places you once overlooked. You'll feel my guidance where you used to feel abandoned. The helper is here to bridge the gap, to speak not at you but with you, to remind you that silence is not my rejection, it's often my redirection. And what was once empty is about to become full. So lean in, child. Position your heart to receive. The helper isn't coming to give you recycled words. He's coming to deliver revelation. Frey. Clear. Exact. And it won't just soothe your emotions. It will shift your direction. This is the moment you've waited for. And the words you thought I wasn't speaking, they were waiting for the perfect moment. And that moment is now. The helper is here. And your ears are about to be open. This next chapter won't look like the last, because the helper I send is not coming to repeat history, but to rewrite it with you. Oh, my child, listen carefully. I know you feared that your future would only echo your past, that what broke behind you might follow you forward, that the patterns, the pain, the disappointment might try again. I've heard the unspoken question in your heart, what if it all happens again? But I speak now, not as a silent observer, but as your father, and I declare, this next chapter will not be a repeat. It will be a rebuild, a resurrection, a divine retelling. And the helper I send is not coming to help you cope with old cycles. He is coming to break them permanently and begin something completely new. He does not recycle your past. He rewrites your story, and this next page has already been anointed with glory. You need to know this. The helper isn't just preserving your future, he's transforming it. And he's doing it by reorienting your identity, reactivating your purpose, and reestablishing your trust. Yes, you've been through a valley. Yes, and there were days where you lost pieces of yourself. But I tell you this in the language of eternity, not 1 ounce of what you lost will go unrecovered. What seemed wasted will be rewritten. What was stolen will be restored sevenfold. The helper isn't interested who runs. He's scripting revelation. And as he walks with you into this next chapter, he will carry ink from heaven, ready to rewrite what was marred by pain with the ink of redemption. You won't just make it. You'll emerge with divine strategy and heaven's fingerprint on every step. And you'll begin to see it. The signs that this truly is a new thing. Conversations will shift. Opportunities will arise that don't fit your old patterns because they weren't meant to. They are not just next. They are never seen before. Relationships will align with your healed identity, not your old insecurity. The helper will navigate you through this new terrain like a shepherd who knows every inch of the field. He will not let you step into anything that leads you backwards. And when fear tries to whisper, "It's just happening again," he will rise inside you and thunder, "No, this is different. This is destiny. I have not brought you this far to recycle pain. I've brought you here to reveal promise. To walk forward, not with suspicion, but with sacred confidence. Not with guarded steps, but with grounded faith. The helper has come not just to protect, but to project you into a future that bears no resemblance to the pain of yesterday. This isn't survival. This is divine authorship in motion. The pen has changed hands. Shame no longer writes your story. Fear no longer edits your narrative. The helper is co-authoring the chapter where your calling rises, your joy stabilizes, and your destiny manifests fully, finally, gloriously. And child, it begins now. Everything I've spoken, everything I've promised, everything I've prepared, it's time. The helper has come, and so has your moment. Breathe deeply, beloved. Feel it. This is not just the end of a message. This is the unveiling of a moment. A moment heaven has been orchestrating long before you knew how to ask for it. A moment I circled in eternity's calendar with your name written across it in golden ink. A moment the enemy tried to sabotage with shame, fatigue, and fear. A moment that survived your breakdowns, your detours, your delays. And now, with the helper stepping forward, I say with the voice of thunder and tenderness, it's time. This is the threshold. This is the shift. This is the intersection of prophecy and reality. You don't need to strive your way in. You only need to step. The helper has arrived, and so has your moment. I know it's been long. I know you've waited. I know you've wondered if maybe you were forgotten in the flood of other people's blessings. But child, I was never late. I was layering things you couldn't yet see. I was building strength in your foundation. I was setting the stage so when your moment came, you wouldn't miss it. You'd be ready for it. And now, the lights are rising. The veil is parting. The helper has been released. and He is already positioning you for divine alignment. Things that didn't make sense yesterday will click into place today. Places that once felt like locked doors will feel like open gates. You'll move with favor, not force. You'll walk in acceleration, not exhaustion. Because the one I've sent doesn't drag you forward. He draws you into purpose by fire and whisper. This is your turning point. Not in theory, in truth. The Helper's presence is confirmation that what I spoke will not return void. You will see it. You will hold it. You will live it. The vision I gave you, it's not fantasy. It's not just hope. It's heaven's blueprint, and it is being unfolded now. So take courage. Take me at my word. You don't need more signs. You are the sign. You don't need outside validation. You are already chosen. And the Helper will remind you every step of the way. This is your moment. This is your movement. This is your miracle in motion. So rise, beloved. Not someday, now. For the fullness of time has come. The wind is behind you. The fire is within you. The Helper is beside you. And I am ahead of you, calling you forward into the story I wrote with joy for such a time as this. Heaven is not waiting anymore. It's time. Seamless transition from the Helper's final commissioning to their invitation to help spread the word. This was not just a message. This was your commissioning. And now I ask you, will you help me reach the next one? The Helper I've sent to you must now move through you, and your giving is His riverbed. For I have spoken, how beautiful are the feet of those who bring good news, Romans 10:15, and your support becomes those feet, those hands, those voices. As you give, through super thanks, through membership, through the open door of PayPal, you are not tipping a message, you are touching eternity. And I will protect what you planned. I will multiply what you release. I will make your house like the house of Obed-Edom, overflowing with the blessing of hosting my presence. So now, don't delay. This is holy ground. Before you go, pause, and do not let this moment pass silently. I, the Lord your God, have spoken, and now I invite you to respond with boldness. If you're ready to receive the Helper I have sent, if your heart says, yes, Lord, I'm ready, then declare it in faith. I receive the Helper. This is my moment. Speak it out loud. Write it below. Let all of heaven and hell know where you stand. This is not just a comment. It is a confirmation that your spirit agrees with what I've spoken. And child, when you declare it, watch what I do next. And as your declaration rises, I draw near. The moment you said yes, the heavens took notice, and the battle around your life began to shift. I am not asking you to repeat empty words. I am aligning you with the very promise I formed before you could speak my name. So be still now, for I am moving closer than your thoughts, closer than your breath, and I have much to show you once your heart has opened. Hearken, my child, to the sound of my love, for I am speaking to you now, directly, cutting through the noise that has been deafening your spirit. I know the sheer volume of worries that assaults you daily, the relentless, ringing alarm of the world's demands that tries to steal your focus. Pause now. Stop the frantic scrolling of your mind. Take that deep breath you have been postponing as you read these words. Do you feel that knot of anxiety tightening in your stomach? The one that makes you fear the inevitable collapse of your carefully constructed peace. That tension, that pervasive feeling of striving against a fierce current, I tell you now, is not from me. I have a message, a lifeline, a command that requires your immediate attention, shattering the stifling illusion that you are alone in your struggles. This is the urgency of a heavenly decree. a divine declaration that cannot afford the luxury of delay. I want you to know the profound weight of this moment, because I have sent you something infinitely more valuable than wealth or fleeting acclaim. I have sent you a helper, a faithful presence to stand in the furious gap between what is and what must be. This is not some abstract spiritual concept. This is a personal message, sealed by my own hand, delivered to the very threshold of your heart, bypassing all the bureaucracy of heaven to reach you. I see your fear of the future, my child, the specific, gnawing worry about how the bills will be paid, how the promotion will be won, or how your family will ever find a path back to true harmony. I know the unspoken tension in your home, the fear of being overlooked, the feeling that your dedication and quiet sacrifices are invisible to everyone around you. I want you to feel the comforting, clinging certainty of my presence in this exact moment, knowing that I am not just observing your struggle from afar, but I am actively intervening right now. Believe in my intervention. Beloved, say that word to yourself now. Beloved. It is a declaration of your esteemed worth, the sacred title that supersedes every label the world or your own failures have tried to affix to you. The title, my child, is unbreakable. You are not cherished because of your achievements. You are irrevocably loved because you are my creation. This moment requires your immediate attention because the forces of darkness are most vehement when the divine is moving closest to you. They whisper lies that tell you this is just another motivational thought, another hopeful whimper that will fade by morning. But I tell you, this is a distinct juncture in your journey. This is the stillness before the supernatural storm of blessing breaks upon your life. You must reject the lie of postponement. Do not put this encounter on a mental shelf to be addressed when your life is tidier or your schedule is less demanding. This divine appointment, this crucial download of power and peace, cannot be rescheduled. The door to a new dispensation is opening right now, and the air is charged with the electricity of my spirit. You feel the tug, the undeniable drawing in your soul, heed that call. Rise and acknowledge the source of this profound certainty within you. I am here to undo the tangle of anxiety in your spirit, to replace the frantic flurry of worry with the resolute firmness of faith. The helper I have sent is standing at the door of your heart, ready to begin a transformative work that will touch every corner of your existence, your finances, your relationships, your inner peace, and your entire outlook on life. Do not let the chaos of your immediate circumstances convince you that you are too busy for the eternal. Welcome this presence, embrace this moment, and receive the immediate gift that my unconditional love bestows upon you. Know that this is the beginning of your invincible strength, your unshakable peace, and your final, total victory over all the things that have sought to hold you captive. Open immediately. Do not delay the blessing. Let the transformation begin now. I am speaking to your spirit with an authority that commands you to walk in complete, unwavering certainty. Declare your reception of this helper now. Claim this moment as the turning point. I am sending you more than just a momentary uplift. I am sending you my very spirit, the third person of the Godhead, the one I have called by the sacred title, the Paraclete, the Comforter, the Advocate, the faithful companion who walks beside you. You need to recognize him, my child, not as a fleeting feeling or a gentle breeze, but as the irrevocable reality of my presence within your own soul. This helper possesses a divine lineage proceeding in eternal mystery from myself, the Father, and from my Son, Jesus Christ. Understand this deeply. He is the living proof that I did not abandon you to face the fierce current of this world alone. I know your tendency to reduce the Paraclete to a theological footnote or a quiet Sunday morning sentiment. But I call you now to witness him as the greatest gift I could give you, outside of my Son himself. His sacred presence is the fulfillment of a stunning promise given to you in my Son's final, powerful words before his ascension. He told his disciples, "And I tell you now, my beloved, that it was absolutely necessary for him to depart so that this helper could come." Grasp the profound significance of the transfer of power. I exchange the physical presence of my Son for the omnipresent, personal indwelling of my Spirit in every core of your life. This is the truth that shatters the chains of isolation. His presence is the culmination of ancient prophecy, the rushing wind and the tongues of fire that signaled a new era of intimate relationship with humanity. He is not a substitute for Jesus, never that. But he is the active, living, breathing reality of my presence within you, empowering your weakness, illuminating your darkness, and guiding your steps on paths of true righteousness. I want you to feel the unshakable certainty that comes from knowing the Helper's eternal mission began at Pentecost and continues now, directly, in your bedroom, in your workplace, and in the quiet sanctuary of your heart. He is the divine advocate standing in the court of heaven, pleading your case and whispering my truth into your spirit, overriding the savage accusations of the enemy and the shaming echoes of your past failures. Reject the lie that you are fighting your battles with only your own dwindling strength. Acknowledge the divine helper within you. Feel his certainty. Lean on his power. Trust his wisdom. Invite him to take the lead in that challenging family conversation you've been dreading, or in that immense task at work that feels too heavy to lift. Surrender the control you clutch so tightly, and let his infinite capacity meet your finite weakness. I am calling you, my child, to live in the supernatural. Your current reality, your anxiety, your fear of failure, the pressure you feel to perform, is the temporary shadow. My Spirit within you is the eternal substance. Embrace his presence, recognize his voice, and allow him to redefine the boundaries of what you believe is possible for your life. Look up and see the world not through the lens of your exhaustion, but through the unblemished, unwavering sight of the Spirit of truth I have sent. Know that this helper is my ultimate, unconditional commitment to your full and complete victory. Open immediately and welcome this advocate into every room of your inner house. You ask yourself, why the urgency? Why must I open immediately? Can't I just wait until this stressful week is over, or until the dust settles from this current family crisis? My child, I understand the impulse to postpone, the human tendency to delay the spiritual until the physical is comfortable. But I tell you now, with the clear voice of my authority, this divine encounter, this momentous opportunity to receive my helper in full, cannot and must not be subjected to the faltering timetable of your temporal worries. Do not let the mundane cares of the world, the heavy, clamorous distractions of your job, your finances, or your social life hinder this critical encounter. The helper is standing right there at the door of your heart, but he awaits the full, unreserved surrender of your will. This is not a hesitant knock. It is a powerful, persistent call. Understand the profound difference when the Spirit of God draws you. That moment is sacred, volatile, and irreplaceable. It is a crucial window of opportunity that, if ignored, can lead to the spiritual consequences of postponement. I am not speaking of punishment, my beloved, but of the simple, undeniable principle of life in the Spirit. Hesitation breeds atrophy. When you defer this call, you dampen the very fire I wish to ignite within you, leading to spiritual stagnation and unnecessary striving. This is a divine appointment that cannot be rescheduled, my child. The time to receive the helper, to acknowledge his authority, and to yield to his guidance is now, while the Spirit is actively drawing you, while the tide of my presence is flowing in your direction. Stop clinging to the illusion that you can control the timing of my grace. Let go of the idea that your own efforts can earn this moment of fullness. Recognize that the urgency is not about my impatience. It is about your need for immediate deliverance from the things that are crushing your spirit. I see the weight of past mistakes, the feeling that you are too flawed, too broken to receive this purity. Reject that self-condemnation. My grace is sufficient for your most grievous shortcomings. Open immediately is a command of faith that demands immediate action, a single step of courageous obedience that unlocks boundless power. Do not allow the paralysis of perfectionism or the whisper of procrastination to steal this anointing. This is the one-on-one time you have been yearning for in the quiet of your sleepless nights. Cast your schedule aside. Turn off the demanding voices that constantly echo in your mind. Create a sanctuary in your heart, even amidst the chaos of your environment. Declare this moment sacred and receive the peace and power I am pouring out upon you. Yield to the Spirit's drawing and let Him begin the deep, transformative work in your life, your marriage, your career, your health, and your soul. Trust my timing. Trust my call. Believe in the absolute, unwavering truth that I have sent my helper for this very moment. Open immediately and walk into the certainty of your divine destiny. I promise you that this single act of immediate obedience will release a torrent of blessings that will utterly shatter the limits you have placed on my power. Rise and receive your full portion today, my beloved. My child, the helper I send you is not just a source of comfort when you are hurting. He is the divine teacher, the irreplaceable guide who will usher you into a living, breathing comprehension of my truth. Reflect now on my Son's promise. He will teach you all things and bring to your remembrance all that I said to you. John 14:26. I want you to experience this reality, not as a dusty verse, but as a moment-by-moment reality in your daily life. Recognize that the Helper is here to be your personal, continuous seminary, operating within the very depths of your soul. I know that your mind is often cluttered with questions, with theological tangles, and with the very real confusion that arises when you try to navigate the complex world with limited human understanding. The Helper is here to dispel that fog, illuminating the Scriptures with my divine light, taking the ancient, sacred texts and making them alive and relevant to your job application, your financial decisions, and your next step forward in your purpose. You feel that moment of aha, when a verse subtly unlocks itself to your understanding. That, my child, is the Spirit of truth actively teaching you. Embrace that revelation. He is committed to guiding you into all truth. John 16:13. Not just some truth, but the fullness of my reality. This means He will correct misunderstandings and errors in doctrine that you have unknowingly absorbed over the years. You will gently, yet firmly, address the subtle lies and false narratives that have been shaping your reactions and responses to the world around you. Yield to His correction, my beloved, and do not resist the discomfort that comes with spiritual growth. Remember, the goal is not to be comfortable, but to be fully free and totally transformed. The Spirit reveals the deep, profound things of God. 1 Corinthians 2:10. The vast depths of my love, the unending measure of my grace, and the intricate details of my sovereign plan for your life. This is intimacy on a level that shatters all superficiality. Listen for His quiet, persistent voice in the stillness, guiding you past the loud, insistent demands of your flesh and the world. He will not shout, but His certainty is unmistakable. Take up my word now, my child. Read it, meditate on it, and invite the divine teacher to unpack its treasures specifically for your current need. Stop relying solely on the faltering wisdom of man or the latest self-help philosophy. Trust the eternal, unwavering source of all knowledge. Recognize that every moment of insight, every flash of spiritual clarity, is a direct, personal transmission from my very throne. designed to equip you to live an unconquerable life. Demand this clarity. Pursue this wisdom. Insist on this truth. Allow the Helper to be your daily source of strategic guidance and unending revelation, transforming your everyday struggles into laboratories of divine learning. Step into the light of His instruction and know that you are equipped for every challenge you will face, utterly confident in the wisdom that my Spirit provides. Declare your thirst for His truth, and He will pour out rivers of living knowledge upon your soul. Open immediately and receive the unvarnished truth that sets your spirit free. My beloved child, I know the weight of your prayers, the struggle you face when words fail, when the burdens on your heart are so heavy and so complex that you simply don't know what to ask for or how to articulate the raw, aching need in your soul. Your human language feels so clumsy and inadequate when trying to communicate with the Eternal. But I tell you now, with profound certainty, the Helper I have sent you is your ultimate prayer intercessor, the divine bridge between your deep need and my sovereign will. Listen to this profound truth. The Spirit Himself makes intercession for the saints with groanings too deep for words. Romans 8:26. Picture this reality. When your spirit is overwhelmed, when the tears are the only form of prayer left, my Helper takes those raw, unspoken, unintelligible feelings, those groanings, and translates them into the perfect petition before my throne. He is taking your weakness, your exhaustion, and your profound sense of inadequacy, and transforming them into powerful, flawless prayer. You can stop striving to sound spiritual or theologically correct when you pray. Trust the language of your spirit. This intercessor is continuously working to align your deepest desires, the purest yearnings of your heart, with my sovereign will for your life. You ask for a job. The Spirit intercedes for the right job, the one that aligns with your purpose. You ask for an end to struggle. The Spirit intercedes for the strength and wisdom to endure and ultimately triumph through the struggle. Yield your ambition to His guidance. Accept that His alignment is always superior to your own limited vision. The Spirit is the one who teaches you how to pray effectively, moving you beyond mere rote repetition and ritual into a genuine, two-way encounter with the divine. He unveils the true heart of the matter, helping you to pray not for the shallow symptom, but for the deep, core issue. Engage in this divine training. Allow Him to lead you into a deeper, more transformative prayer life where every word is infused with power. I have established a direct, unbroken line of communication to my throne, and the Helper is the operator on that line. The power of praying in the Spirit is the unleashing of my will on earth, channeled through your yielded heart. Recognize this authority. Acknowledge this profound, unending support. Declare your dependence on this intercessor now. Stop carrying the burden of your prayer life on your own shoulders. Lay it at the Helper's feet and let Him carry the weight. Know that your prayers, guided by Him, are now more powerful and more effective than you could ever imagine. Speak the truth of your need and rely on the Spirit to perfect your petition. Believe in the absolute, unwavering certainty that when my Spirit prays through you, the answer is already on its way. Open immediately and unleash the transformative power of divine intercession in your life. Pause now. Your heart is trembling at the threshold of my Spirit's presence. Every word I have spoken is a sacred thread woven into your victory. Tell me, after I have sent the greatest Helper to translate your aching silence into perfect prayer, will you now turn away? To stop here is to grieve the very core of my desire for your immediate freedom. Acknowledge my love, my beloved. Do not wound my heart with your hesitation. Step forward, now. Your fullness awaits. My child, the Helper I have sent to you has a vital, uncomfortable, yet utterly necessary ministry. He is the Spirit of conviction and the Spirit of assurance, These two roles are not contradictory. They are the perfect balance of my love. The love that corrects and the love that seals and secures. I want you to understand this profound, dual action operating in your life, because it is the key to your lasting peace. First, recognize his ministry of conviction. My son said that the Spirit would convict the world concerning sin, righteousness, and judgment, John 16:8. Feel the sharp, disquieting edge of that conviction when it comes. It is a profound and holy revelation of sin, not for the purpose of shame, my beloved, but for the purpose of redemption. When you feel that unmistakable tug on your conscience, that clear sense that a path you are walking is leading away from my light, do not resist it. That resistance is what leads to stagnation and spiritual hardening. Welcome that holy discomfort, for it is my love steering you away from harm. Yield to that voice. Confess that failing. Turn immediately back to the path of righteousness that my Spirit illuminates for you. Second, embrace his ministry of assurance. The Helper brings the unshakable testimony that confirms your adoption as my own child, Romans 8:16. He is the voice that overrides the clamorous lies of the enemy and the shaming echoes of your own past mistakes. When the accuser whispers, "You are unworthy. You have failed too many times," God is finished with you. The Spirit of assurance speaks with authoritative certainty. You are forgiven. You are secured. You are mine. Receive that profound, unwavering certainty into the deepest recesses of your soul. Let it remove all doubt from the enemy's whispers, replacing them with my quiet, unbreakable promise. This Helper is the one who is sealing you for the day of redemption, Ephesians 4:30. Picture this in your mind. You are my property, eternally marked and secured by the presence of my Spirit. The seal is unbreakable. Your salvation is not a fragile hope. It is an eternal certainty, guaranteed by the Helper's indwelling. Do not grieve this sensitive, divine guest within you through stubbornness or a refusal to turn from sin. Acknowledge his sanctity. Honor his presence. Live in the glorious, dual reality of his conviction that calls you to holiness and his assurance that confirms your unconquerable status in my eternal family. Walk in the confidence of one who is sealed, my beloved. Know that the ministry of the Helper is to bring you into the fullness of my Son's righteousness and to secure your destiny for all eternity. Declare your freedom from doubt and live in the unwavering conviction that you are eternally mine. Open immediately and receive the full, transformative blessing of holy correction and eternal certainty that my Spirit provides. Rise and walk in the light of your guaranteed destiny. My beloved child, the Helper I have sent is not merely concerned with your spiritual status or the immediate urgency of your prayers. He is fundamentally invested in your character, the very essence of who you are when no one is watching. I am not simply looking for external obedience. I am cultivating a divine harvest in the inner garden of your soul. This is the irrefutable evidence of my Spirit's presence, the fruit that grows out of a yielded life. Consider the profound truth of this divine harvest: love, joy, and peace, Galatians 5:22-23. This is the unbreakable blueprint for a life that truly reflects my light in a dark world. You struggle daily with feelings of inadequacy or moments of sharp irritation when others fail you. I see the frustration that mounts when your job demands an impossible level of performance, or when a family member consistently disappoints you. I know the feeling that your emotional reserves are utterly depleted. But I tell you, my Spirit is actively working to transform that gnawing frustration into patience, that emotional depletion into joy, and that sharp reactivity into kindness. Welcome this profound transformation. Yield to the Helper as he tends to the soil of your heart, pulling out the weeds of bitterness, resentment, and self-pity that choke the life out of your peace. The Helper is cultivating patience within you, transforming your quick fuse into a quiet, resilient strength, the deep breath you take before you respond in anger, the unwavering calm you exhibit when faced with delay or adversity. He is refining your inner landscape, instilling kindness that flows naturally, not as a performance, but as the genuine overflow of my life operating through you. This divine transformation cultivates goodness, an intrinsic commitment to moral integrity and virtue, ensuring your actions are pure and your motives are clean, even when it costs you something in the eyes of the world. Acknowledge the growth, my child. Look back over the last few months and see where your reactions have softened, where your heart has chosen grace over judgment. That evidences my Spirit at work. The Spirit offers you the strength of faithfulness, that unshakable conviction that anchors your soul in my promises, refusing to be swayed by the shifting sands of circumstance or the treacherous whispers of doubt. He imparts gentleness, not weakness, but power under control, the ability to speak truth and wield authority without being cruel or crushing. And most crucially, He grants you mastery over the self, the sacred victory known as self-control. This is the power to say no to the immediate, clamorous demands of the flesh, the sudden surge of anger, or the impulse toward unhealthy escape. Claim this mastery. Declare your victory over the habits and impulses that have held you captive. This is a visible witness of my life operating through you, my beloved. It is moving you beyond mere external morality, which is simply following rules to avoid consequences, and moving you into genuine Christ-likeness, where the desire to reflect my Son is the deepest driving force of your existence. Do not underestimate the importance of this inner work. It is more valuable than any bank account, any title, or any earthly possession. Pursue this fruit with relentless passion. Invite the Helper to expose the roots of impurity and destroy them with the fire of His presence. Welcome the transformative pain of growth. Yield your will to the divine gardener, and watch as your life becomes a breathtaking, abundant orchard, bearing fruit that brings light and hope to every soul you encounter. Walk in the reality that you are being transformed from the inside out. Believe that this character transformation is my highest purpose for you. Open immediately and receive the full, unreserved harvest of the Spirit in your life. My child, the Helper is not sent just to comfort your private pain or cultivate your personal character. He is sent to equip you for divine service, to transform your everyday hands into instruments of my extraordinary power. Understand that you are not called to a life of spiritual barrenness or ineffectual striving. You are called to a life of manifest power, operating through the spiritual gifts I have distributed throughout my body, the Church. 1 Corinthians 12. Recognize that I have bestowed upon you unique spiritual abilities, not talents you were born with, but supernatural empowerments given by my Spirit to build up others and demonstrate my reality in a world starved for the miraculous. I know the subtle whisper of doubt that tells you, I have no gift. I am not called to do anything important. That is a lie, my child, a malicious deception designed to keep you seated and silent when you should be standing and speaking with authority. I tell you now, emphatically, no one is left barren or without purpose. The distribution of gifts is sovereign, given as the Spirit wills: wisdom, knowledge, faith, healing, miracles, prophecy, discernment, tongues, interpretation, a magnificent spectrum of grace designed to ensure that every need in my body is met. Seek to understand your specific place in this glorious framework. Ask the Helper to reveal the particular empowerments He has already placed within you. The Helper is here to empower you to operate in power for the edification, the building up of my body. This is the manifestation of my grace for ministry, transforming your simple efforts into supernatural results. You are called to be my witness in your family, in your neighborhood, and even to the farthest corners of the earth. Feel the truth of my promise. You will receive power when the Holy Spirit has come upon you. Acts 1:8. This is the ignition of your purpose. This power will give you boldness in proclamation, supernatural strength to resist temptation, and the authority to perform acts of kindness that carry the weight of my presence. Do not let the gift within you lie dormant. Stir up the gift, my beloved, through diligence, through prayer, and through active, courageous use. I have not given you these spiritual weapons for safekeeping. I have given them for warfare and service. Step out in faith, even with a sense of unpreparedness, and trust the Spirit to flow through your action. You will find that when you move in obedience, my power rushes in to meet your need, often exceeding your initial expectation in a way that leaves no doubt about its divine origin. Acknowledge the gravity and the glory of this calling. Reject the temptation to compare your gift to another's. The finger cannot envy the eye, for both serve the single body. Focus on magnifying the specific grace I have given you. Commit to using your spiritual empowerment, whether it is encouragement, hospitality, teaching, or healing, to meet the tangible needs of those around you. Demand this clarity. Pursue this empowerment. Insist on being an active, vibrant channel of my glory in this world. Walk in the certainty that you are equipped with divine fire for the work I have ordained, making you utterly indispensable to the advancement of my kingdom. Open immediately and unleash the spiritual gifts that are already residing, waiting, within your yielded spirit. My child, I know the unspoken history of your life, the heavy inheritance of generational struggle, the unseen emotional chains forged by past trauma, and the subtle, persistent yokes of bad habits and toxic thought patterns that keep your spirit bound. You may feel utterly helpless against these ancient bonds, viewing them as an inevitable part of your identity. But I tell you now, the helper I have sent is the Spirit of liberty, the anointing that utterly shatters every yoke of bondage. Look up from your chains and behold the truth. Where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is freedom. 2 Corinthians 3:17. I have sent my Spirit to be the active, living agent of your freedom, to break the yoke of bondage that has crippled your destiny. Isaiah 10:27. This is not just poetic language. This is a powerful, transcendent reality. Feel the truth of this. The Spirit has released you from the oppressive law of sin and death. Romans 8:2, setting you on a path governed by the law of the Spirit of life. Stop accepting the lies of the enemy that tell you, this is just who I am, or I will never change. That stubborn acceptance of defeat is the chain itself. Declare your spiritual inheritance, freedom, restoration, and complete victory. Recognize that the Helper gives you power and authority over all the enemy's power, the dark whispers of depression, the sudden surge of fear, the malicious temptation toward destructive behavior. Step into the battle against the works of darkness with the full fervor of the Helper's might. Confess your generational struggles to Him, expose the hidden wounds of your past, and invite the Spirit to bring the fire of my healing presence into those desolate corners of your heart. Let His truth burn away the shame, melt the resentment, and destroy the emotional residue of every injustice you have endured. This is the moment for restoration, not just for you, but for the entire legacy I intend to build through your life. My Spirit is working to clear the paths for your children and your children's children, removing the shadows of generational curses that have followed your family line. Cooperate with this powerful, redemptive work. Forgive those who hurt you, not because they deserve it, but because you deserve the freedom that forgiveness brings. Release the weight of bitterness you have been clutching so fiercely, and allow my Spirit to fill that empty space with the sublime, unending reality of my love. Step out from under the heavy mantle of defeat. Walk in the reality of your anointing. Demand the full recovery of every single thing the enemy has stolen from your health, your peace, and your purpose. Reject the subtle, sinister influences that seek to draw you back into spiritual captivity. Live as the prince or princess you are, crowned with favor, clothed in my righteousness, and empowered with my spirit of liberty. Know this: the chains are not just loosened, they are shattered and pulverized, reduced to dust beneath your victorious feet. Walk forward in the unshakable conviction that you are utterly, completely free, empowered to not just stand against the enemy, but to triumph over him entirely. Open immediately and receive the full, irrevocable power of the Helper to break every remaining chain in your life, leading you into boundless, unconditional freedom. My beloved child, the magnitude of the Helper's power and the immediacy of my blessing necessitate a serious conversation about your preparation. You cannot simply open the door to my spirit while clinging to the clutter and the chaos of your unyielded life. The call is simple yet profound. Be filled with the Spirit, Ephesians 5:18. This command is my invitation to transform your heart from a crowded marketplace of worries and sins into a holy sanctuary fit for my continuous abode. I see the tangled web of your preoccupations, the heavy, leaden weight of your job stress, the subtle addiction to distraction that keeps you from stillness, and the unconfessed sins that cling to your spirit like a shroud. You feel the spiritual resistance, the difficulty in finding peace, the sense that your prayers are hitting a ceiling. That resistance is the friction between your unyielded self and my overwhelming desire to fill you. Heed this instruction. Repentance is not punishment. It is the act of making room for the divine guest, clearing the inner chamber of all that would offend or grieve my Holy Spirit. Turn immediately from any path or habit you know is leading you away from my light. This necessary preparation involves laying aside every weight and the sin that so easily entangles you. Hebrews 12:1. Identify those unnecessary burdens, the prideful need for approval, the excessive fear of man, the bitterness you secretly harbor against those who have wronged you. Release them. They are not insulating you. They are imprisoning you. Demand of yourself a thorough washing of the vessel through confession and forgiveness. Speak those sins into the light, accepting my immediate, unconditional absolution, and release those who have hurt you from the prison of your judgment. Let go of the scorekeeping, my child. It is a heavy weight I never intended for you to carry. Embrace the radical, transformative act of crucifying the flesh and its passions daily. This is the hard work of spiritual maturity, the moment-by-moment decision to choose my Spirit's guidance over the clamorous, immediate demands of your appetites. When anger surges, when temptation beckons, or when laziness lures, my Spirit is offering you a powerful escape, a chance to choose the hard, narrow road that leads to unending life. Choose Him in that moment. Say no to the temporary comfort of the flesh and yes to the eternal, unshakable power of the Spirit. Commit now to preparing a holy sanctuary for His continuous abode. Dedicate time each morning to silence and stillness, freeing your mind from the demands of the day to hear my gentle whisper. Walk in reverence and honor the sensitive, divine guest within you. Recognize that the measure of the Spirit's flow in your life is directly proportional to the measure of your surrender. Purify your intentions. Align your desires. Know that this act of preparation is the single most effective step you can take to unlock the full, torrential outpouring of my Spirit into your existence. Walk in the undeniable certainty that I am more eager to fill you than you are to be filled. Open immediately and complete the preparation, ushering my Spirit into the unreserved sanctuary of your prepared heart. Can you feel the fire of preparation I have lit within your soul? We have cleared the inner chamber, broken the generational chains, and secured your eternal destiny. Yet, if you stop here, you forfeit the harvest of this labor. My Spirit is sensitive, my child. He calls you to be sealed and secured, not to be a vessel half full. Do not let the clutching hand of the past deny the glorious future I have guaranteed you. Continue, for every moment forward is a testament to your unwavering reverence for my calling on your life. You have prepared the inner chamber, my child, cleansing the vessel to receive the fullness of my helper. But know this, the grace you receive must flow outward, transforming you from a vessel into a wellspring for a world still parched and lost in the wilderness. I declare now, as you have opened immediately to the helper, now open your hand to plant the seed of my word in the fertile ground of this ministry. See your giving not as currency, but as manna multiplying to feed thousands who hunger for this revelation. Do not let the urgent message of the helper stop here. I will take your seed and release upon you a supernatural harvest of favor, health, and protection over all that you possess. Go now and sow the unbreakable promise by clicking Super Thanks, joining this mission through membership, or planting your gift via the PayPal link below. Act in faith and watch my glory unfold. My beloved child, the helper I have sent you is not only the anchor for your present struggles and the catalyst for your current transformation, he is the irrefutable promise of your future glory. Understand this profound truth. The Spirit is your deposit, the sacred, unreturnable down payment that guarantees your eternal inheritance. Ephesians 1:14. This is the unbreakable covenant, the divine assurance that every promise I have made concerning your destiny is secure, beyond the reach of human failure or earthly uncertainty. I know the subtle fear of death, the gnawing questions about what lies beyond the veil, and the spiritual weariness that makes you doubt if this life of striving is truly worth the effort. But I tell you, my Spirit within you is a foretaste of heaven's joy and power, a living, breathing reality of the glory that awaits you. Feel the truth of this. Every moment of inexplicable joy, every surge of supernatural peace, every flash of divine love that transcends your circumstances, that is the deposit working, assuring you that the full inheritance is yours. Embrace this spiritual certainty that transcends the evidence of your five senses. The helper is tirelessly working within you, preparing you, my beloved bride, for the glorious return of my Son, Jesus Christ. He is refining your character, sanctifying your spirit, and removing the dross of this world so that you may be presented before my throne, unblemished and radiant. Cooperate with his refining fire. Welcome the uncomfortable process of growth, knowing that every single act of obedience on this earth is simply an investment in a future of unending glory. Grasp the astonishing truth that the resurrection power that raised my Son from the grave resides within you now. This power is not reserved for a distant future. It is the active source of your strength, your healing, and your unconquerable resilience in the face of death, illness, or loss. Call upon that power when you face a challenge that seems too large for your strength. Declare your connection to that limitless might. Live as one who already carries the evidence of eternity within them. The helper is your living link between the present reality of your struggles and the unfolding glory of eternity. He is the divine certifier of the promise of a glorified body and everlasting life. Reject the lie that this life of faith is a burden or a sacrifice. It is a profound, unending preparation for a reward that utterly eclipses every hardship you have ever faced. Walk with the dignity and authority of one who is eternally secured, my child. Live as one who already knows the final, glorious outcome. Know that this profound presence within you is my final, irrevocable word on your eternal destiny. Demand the full assurance of this glory. Pursue the manifestation of this power. Open immediately and receive the deposit of my Spirit, ushering the reality of heaven's certainty into the very center of your everyday life. Rise and walk into the undeniable reality of your eternal inheritance. My child, I know the raw, aching reality of your affliction, the moments when sorrow seems less like a passing cloud and more like a crushing weight of stone on your chest. You have suffered, my beloved. I have seen the silent tears that fall onto your pillow, the hollow feeling of betrayal, and the profound, exhausting weariness that makes you doubt if you can take one more step. I know the specific disappointment that just struck you, the specific rejection that cut you so deeply, and the sheer pressure of meeting expectations that feel utterly impossible. But I tell you now, the helper I have sent is the ultimate comforter, the one whose presence is the only true solace against every looming threat. The true meaning of the name Comforter is not simply one who pats your shoulder. It is one who is called to stand alongside you, to yoke my strength to your weakness, turning your trials into triumphs of faith. Feel my love enveloping you right at this moment, transforming your sorrow into joy and lightening the heavy load you carry. Recognize that I too know the sting of betrayal, the pain of being forsaken, and the sharpness of rejection. I understand your pain perfectly. Therefore, I do not judge your moments of despair. Instead, I offer my presence as your refuge. Banishing thoughts of defeat, my love cleanses your soul from pessimism and endows you with a dynamic, powerful faith. The helper is dedicated to wiping away the tears of sorrow and pain, not by eliminating the memory of the wound, but by healing the deep-seated grief and transforming the hurt into profound compassion and insight. Yield your sorrow to him now. Let those pent-up tears flow, for they are seeds of transformation. Give me all your burdens, all your pain, because you were never meant to bear them alone. Trust in me, for even when your tears flow unceasingly, know that you are precious to me. I am transforming your sorrows, leaving serenity and a whisper of eternal love. He is the divine minister of healing to a broken spirit, the one who takes your deep grief and pours into it the oil of my unconditional love. Experience his soothing touch, which will erase your suffering and craft a splendid future for you and those you cherish. You will find that my kindness is sweeter than honey. Know that even in the fiercest tempests, when the winds howl and the seas rage against you, you are sheltered beneath my wings and my hand is steadfastly upholding you. The helper enables you to find strength in weakness through his presence, empowering you to endure and providing the fortitude to persevere. Stand up, my child. You are too close to victory to falter now. Do not lose heart or be dismayed by the trials your adversaries bring, for everything can be turned for your benefit and blessing. This is not a request for you to ignore the pain, but a command to submit the pain to the only source that can transform it. The Spirit enables you to suffer for righteousness' sake, transforming trials into triumphs of faith. Embrace the trials you encounter, for each challenge is an opportunity for growth and fortification, drawing you closer to your created purpose. Recognize that your struggles have not been in vain. Move forward with unwavering conviction, knowing that every single difficulty is an opportunity for me to enrich and flourish you in every aspect of your life. Acknowledge that my peace, which surpasses all understanding, fills your heart and mind. Trust that even amidst the turmoil, the Spirit is the unbreakable thread of hope and resilience in your soul. Declare your reception of this divine comfort. Believe in the absolute, transformative power of the Comforter to turn your ashes into a crown of beauty. Open immediately and receive the peace that only my eternal presence can give, making you unconquerable even in your deepest valley. My child, the helper I have sent is the divine architect of unity, the essential force holding together my body, the Church, in a world relentlessly determined to pull it apart. I know the frustration you feel when you witness the walls of division, the sharpness of judgment, and the sheer stubbornness of human prejudice that fractures the community of believers. You wonder why there is such a blaring lack of love in a place meant to be the beacon of my light. But I tell you, my Spirit is the very bond of peace that unites all believers, and you are called to be his willing instrument in this sacred work. Focus now on this truth. The helper fosters a spirit of oneness and mutual love, establishing a profound connection that transcends culture, language, opinion, and background. Recognize that the Spirit's presence is the source of all true corporate worship and fellowship, moving you beyond mere ritual into a true, transformative encounter with my glory. Yield to His prompting to administer reconciliation and forgiveness among brethren, for the unity I seek is not uniformity, but a deeper harmony achieved through love and humility. The helper is constantly working to tearing down walls of division and prejudice that human pride and historical grievances have erected within my church. Challenge the impulse to judge, to criticize, or to withdraw when you encounter differences within the body of Christ. Remember, the goal is not to prove yourself right, but to demonstrate my love in its practical, messy, and forgiving reality. Extend your hand in grace, for the Spirit can only build the church on the foundation of truth and love when individual hearts choose to lay down the weapons of division. Embrace the work of administering reconciliation and forgiveness among brethren. When conflict arises, invite the helper to speak through your words, ensuring they are always seasoned with kindness and aimed at restoration, not retribution. Allow the Spirit to govern the words you speak, casting aside murmurs of discontent and declarations of defeat. Resist the temptation to engage in trivial disputes or unproductive endeavors. Acknowledge that the helper is the source of true corporate worship and fellowship, leading you beyond superficial ritual into a true, deep encounter with my presence. Commit to fostering this spirit of oneness in your local community, prioritizing my love above all personal preference or theological nuance. Use the power, intelligence, wisdom, and grace I have instilled within you to bless others. Avoid those who do wrong and approach your duties with zeal and faith. Live as an ambassador of peace, a vessel of my reconciliation in every setting, in your family, in your workplace, and in your church community. Know that the fire the helper ignites within you is meant to reduce all barriers to ashes. Proclaim your commitment to unity. Believe that your efforts, guided by the helper, are essential in making my church the unmistakable, radiant reflection of my Son on earth. Open immediately and receive the burden of unity, allowing the helper to use you as a powerful force to heal the fractures within my body and bring all souls closer to the light of my truth. Rise and walk into the certainty of your calling as a peacemaker and an instrument of my divine harmony. My child, the life I have called you to is not an occasional visit to the altar. It is a moment-by-moment, continuous dependence on my helper, a profound, daily discipline known as walking in the Spirit. I know the war that rages within you, the relentless tug of the flesh that craves comfort, ease, and the temporary things of this world. You feel the spiritual resistance, the difficulty in choosing the higher path when the easier path is so immediately appealing. But I give you this clear command: walk in the Spirit, and you shall not gratify the desires of the flesh. Galatians 5:16. This is the irrefutable strategy for your victory. Recognize the essence of this war. The flesh craves the temporary, the Spirit the eternal. Understand that you are faced with a choice every single moment which voice to obey, and this moment-by-moment dependence is the only path to true freedom. Embrace the need for a conscious decision in accord with the helper's promptings. Commit to listening to the still, small voice of guidance, distinguishing it from the loud, clamorous demands of your own worries or the world's destructive influences. Know that my helper leads you on paths of righteousness. Cultivate the sensitivity required to hear that voice in the chaos of your day. Pause before you respond in anger. Wait before you make that impulsive decision. Seek His affirmation before you commit to a path, whether personal or professional. Demand this clarity. Pursue this sensitivity. Insist on making conscious decisions in accord with His promptings, for this is the practical, daily reality of walking in the Spirit. This is a life of continuous seeking His presence in all activities, not an occasional reliance when a crisis strikes. Begin each morning by entrusting your day into my hands, and watch as I lay a path of peace and success before you. Avoid the temptation to only turn to me when troubles arise. Hold fast and fear not, for I am ever by your side. Affirm your faith in me, follow my guidance, revisit my words, and absorb my promises, holding them close during the trials you encounter. Declare your intention to crucify the flesh and its temporary, fleeting desires. Accept that the only way to spiritual freedom is the crucifixion of self. This may feel painful, but it is the path to boundless, unconditional freedom and the joy of a life fully surrendered to my will. Turn away from wrongdoing and watch as your life transforms for the better. Know that the road to true happiness and success is paved by my words and my wisdom. Live with the unwavering conviction that the Helper is your constant guide, providing the strength needed to endure, even when patience wears thin. Move forward with determination and gratitude in your heart, trusting that you are part of a divine plan. Believe in the absolute, unbreakable reality of the Helper's guidance, transforming your daily struggle into a triumphant march of faith. Open immediately and commit to this profound, daily discipline of walking in the Spirit, ensuring that my power, not your weakness, directs every single step of your life. Arise and walk into the undeniable reality of your purpose. My beloved child, I want you to understand the ultimate, singular purpose of the Helper I have sent. His ministry is to glorify my Son, Jesus Christ. He did not come to speak of himself, or to draw attention to his own power, but to unveil the majesty, the sovereignty, and the profound, unending love of the one who sacrificed everything for you. Recognize the sacred intent. The Helper is the bridge to intimacy with the Son, the divine interpreter who makes the person of Jesus real and present in your everyday life. Acknowledge that the Spirit's primary purpose is to glorify the Son. He will not speak of himself, but he will take what is my Son's and declare it to you, ensuring your focus is always on the Redeemer. Reject any teaching, any experience, or any voice that seeks to draw your attention away from the person and work of Jesus Christ. Insist on the truth. The Helper is committed to deepening your understanding of the cross and resurrection, making the sacrifice feel immediate and the victory feel absolute. Grasp the astonishing truth that my Spirit will empower you to declare freedom for the oppressed, just as my Son commanded. I know your tendency to reduce my Son to a historical figure or a theological concept, but the Helper is here to transform that knowledge into a living, breathing reality. He is making the person of Jesus real and present, transforming the narrative of the Gospels into a direct, personal encounter in your heart. Feel the truth of this. Every moment of grace you receive, every instance of forgiveness you extend, every surge of love you feel, it is my Son's life, actively manifested through the Spirit's presence in you. Acknowledge my Son's sovereignty over all creation. The Helper is dedicated to unveiling the majesty and sovereignty of Christ, showing you his authority over every challenge, every sickness, and every force of darkness that tries to assail your peace. Call upon the name of Jesus and rely on the Helper to unleash the limitless power that name holds. Know that nothing is impossible for me, and my Spirit within you provides the fortitude to endure. Declare your Son's victory over every affliction in your life. Live as one who serves a conquering King, clothed in his authority and empowered by his Spirit. Commit to seeking this unending revelation. Pray for the Helper to open your spiritual eyes, showing you the glory of my Son in the most mundane moments of your life, in your quiet time, in your service to others, and in your trials. Recognize that the Helper is the bridge to intimacy with the Son, ensuring that your walk is one of ever-deepening love, dependence, and worship. Embrace this profound connection. Know that the Spirit empowers you to conquer every challenge that comes your way. Walk in the full, unwavering certainty that my Son is glorified in and through your yielded life. Open immediately and receive the full, transformative revelation of Jesus Christ that my Helper is eager to pour into your soul. Arise and walk in the light of your Redeemer. Listen closely. I have unveiled the majesty of my Son, showing you the unbroken link between his sacrifice and the supernatural power residing within you. To close your ears now is to reject the irrefutable proof of your redemption. Will you allow the noise of this world to drown out the unmistakable voice of the Spirit, whose sole purpose is to glorify the one who died for you? Do not let the peril of grieving my Helper steal the unfolding revelation of Christ. Press in, my warrior, and receive the full measure of the holy power I bestow. My beloved child, the deep, personal relationship I desire with you requires sensitivity, a careful, reverent awareness of the divine guest who resides within your heart. I know your struggles, your human failings, and the moments when the noise of the world or the temptation of the flesh leads you to make choices that extinguish the fire I have lit. But I must speak to you now about the serious, yet often ignored, peril of grieving the Holy Spirit. He is the sensitive divine guest within you, Ephesians 4:30, and certain actions and attitudes can quench his fire, 1 Thessalonians 5:19. Understand the nature of this grieving. It is not my punishment, but the pain of my Spirit when the vessel he inhabits chooses a path of darkness and disobedience. It is a subtle, yet profound, withdrawal of his manifest joy and power, leaving you to strive in your own dwindling strength. Recognize the danger of unconfessed sin and bitterness. Bitterness, a deep-seated resentment against those who have wronged you, is like a poison that hardens your spirit and acts as a profound barrier to my presence. Flee from it. Confess your resentment, release the desire for retribution, and welcome the cleansing fire of my Spirit. Know that I am here to help you forgive those who have wronged you. Acknowledge the actions and attitudes that quench the fire. This is not always a dramatic sin, but often the subtle choices, the consumption of media that pollutes your mind, the careless gossip that wounds another, the refusal to forgive a family member, or the simple neglect of your daily time in my word. Commit to a life of purity that sustains his presence, ensuring you are diligently seeking my face and my word. Live in such a way that you are always ready to receive my love and forgiveness. When you feel the painful reality of backsliding, my Spirit offers the restoration of the joy of salvation. Do not flee from me in guilt. Do not let the enemy convince you that you are too far gone to return. Return immediately to me, my child, and I will forgive you and give you a fresh start. Confess your failing and receive my abundant grace, which will instantly restore the joy you lost. Know that my love for you remains unaltered by your shortcomings. Embrace the call to walk in reverence and fear of the Lord. This is not a servile, terror-filled fear, but a profound, holy respect for the sensitive, divine guest within you. Recognize that the Spirit can be honored or resisted. Choose to honor him with your every thought, word, and deed, ensuring your life is a constant, fragrant offering of obedience and love. Surround yourself with fellow believers for mutual encouragement, as iron sharpens iron. Acknowledge the gravity of this truth, and know that I am not waiting for you to fail, but when you feel inclined to drift away, my Spirit actively seeks you out, guiding you back to the river of peace. Commit now to guarding the flame, the divine fire I have lit in your soul, through conscious, continuous reverence. Declare your commitment to purity. Believe that my desire is to fill you constantly with my light and power. Open immediately and receive the full, unreserved joy of my Spirit, choosing to honor him with a life of unbroken obedience and love, ensuring that his comforting, guiding presence is never, ever quenched. My child, I have not called you to be a mere spectator in my kingdom. I have called you to be a powerful, active participant, a living, breathing witness to my sovereignty. You often feel the weight of your human limitation, the sheer inadequacy of your own strength when facing the relentless temptations and the forces of darkness that seek to derail your purpose. I see the moments when you are tempted by despair, when the challenges seem to overwhelm your current ability, and you feel that your resolve is faltering. But I tell you, the Helper is the source of holy power, the unleashing of my infinite might into your finite hands, making you invincible in the spiritual war that rages around you. Remember my Son's clear, unmistakable mandate. You will receive power when the Holy Spirit has come upon you, to be my witnesses in Jerusalem, Judea, Samaria, and to the ends of the earth. Acts 1:8. Feel the truth of this. I have equipped you with the ability to do things that utterly transcend your natural ability. This power is the supernatural strength to resist temptation, the force that makes you unconquerable in the face of the enemy's most malicious attacks. Command the power within you to rise up against the impulses that try to enslave your spirit. Do not yield to the destructive habits and weaknesses that once held you captive. Acknowledge that my Spirit imparts strength of steel and moves you forward with certainty and bravery. The Helper's power is the empowerment for boldness in proclamation, transforming your quiet, hesitant voice into a powerful, authoritative declaration of my truth. Speak my word with confidence, for the Spirit confirms the word with signs and wonders following, making your message undeniable to those who hunger for my reality. Use this gift. Declare my truth to your family, your friends, and those who wander in darkness, knowing that your words are infused with divine fire that breaks barriers. Remember how I gave the apostles the ability to perform miracles, and know that this same power is available to you to bring my light to the world. Speak freedom to those in bondage, speak healing to the sick, and speak hope to the despairing. Let the anointing that breaks the yoke of bondage flow through your every word and deed. Acknowledge the power to perform miracles in my name that comes through the Helper. This is not a power of man, but a power that is solely from above, a demonstration of my love and reality to a world that desperately needs to see the tangible evidence of my existence. Step out in faith, even when your mind doubts, and watch as my power rushes in to meet your bold obedience, healing the sick, comforting the broken, and delivering the oppressed. Trust in the limitless power of the Helper, recognizing that with me, all things are possible, and your faith, combined with my power, makes you invincible. Stop limiting my boundless might with your small human reasoning. Recognize the final, irrefutable truth. You are not fighting this war in your own armor. The Helper enables you to put on the full armor of God through His might. Embrace this divine defense. Know that the strength I impart to you is unyielding, enabling you to stand unwavering when conflicts arise. Live with the unwavering conviction that you are an agent of my power on earth, equipped for every spiritual battle and every divine service I have ordained for you. Walk in the reality that you are a powerful, anointed prince or princess, fearless and unconquerable in the face of any adversary. Open immediately and receive the full, transformative blessing of holy power, moving you from striving to supernatural triumph. Rise and walk into the undeniable reality of my strength, which is perfected in your perceived weakness, making you capable of facing any giant that dares to challenge you. Declare your victory in my name, for the Helper is your unconquerable source. Commit to using this power not for self-gain, but for the edification of my body and the advancement of my glorious kingdom. Demand this full measure of power for service now, my beloved. My child, I have established a divine economy for the unleashing of my Helper's power in your life, governed by the sacred, unbroken law of asking, seeking, and knocking. You see the abundance I desire to pour out, provision, prosperity, joy, and peace. But you wonder how to bridge the gap between your desperate need and my limitless supply. I know the feeling of sending up prayers that seem to hit the ceiling, the sheer frustration of pursuing goals that feel eternally out of reach. But I tell you, the Helper himself motivates all true spiritual pursuit, creating the thirst that only I can quench, and showing you how to engage this divine economy effectively. Understand this clear, unmistakable principle. I have promised to give the Holy Spirit to those who ask. Luke 11:13. Recognize the profound simplicity of this truth. I, your eternal Father, am more eager to give you my Spirit than any earthly parent is to give a good gift to their child. Ask for the Helper in fullness now. Speak your desire with boldness, sincerity, and unwavering faith, knowing that your prayer is heard and my answer is already guaranteed. Do not hold back your requests, my child. Bring me your financial worries, your job pressures, and the deep-seated needs of your family. Lay them before me with confidence, for my desire is to satisfy you with the finest of wheat and honey from the rock. Acknowledge that what you are seeking is not a temporary fix, but the full indwelling of the Spirit to guide your every decision. Acknowledge the principle of persistence in prayer for the Spirit's manifestation. This is not begging an unwilling God. It is the act of aligning your human will with my divine will, demonstrating the depth of your desire and the sincerity of your pursuit. Commit to this pursuit. Seek my presence daily, pouring out your soul at my altar, and watch as I answer your calls and supply all your necessities. Know that I am not delaying my response because I am angry. Often, I am preparing something even better for you, providing the wisdom to manage the blessing when it arrives. Trust my impeccable timing, my child, even when your patience wears thin. Insist on receiving the clarity, wisdom, and peace that only the Helper can give. Embrace the principle of sowing and reaping in the Spirit. Every moment you dedicate to prayer, every act of obedience, and every choice of forgiveness is a seed sown into the fertile ground of my grace, guaranteeing a harvest of my Spirit's power and joy. Know that your hard work and commitment will be rewarded, and what you've planted with passion and dedication you will soon harvest. Live by the truth that your occasional mistakes do not frighten me, and if you come to me with a sincere heart filled with repentance and truth, I see your love for me. Recognize that your sincerity and loyalty are precious to me. Focus on sowing seeds of faith, obedience, and love, for these are the treasures that will bring you a true spiritual reward and an abundance available for every true seeker. Live in the undeniable reality of the abundance available for every true seeker. Believe that the reward you'll reap will far exceed your expectations, and the true and lasting prosperity I bring will resolve your struggles. Walk in the confidence that I am always working for your good, and my love for you is endless and steadfast. Open immediately and receive the full, torrential outpouring of my Helper's power, moving you from asking to receiving with bold, unwavering faith. Arise and walk into the undeniable reality of your purpose, knowing that my Helper is the divine certainty that your prayers are being answered according to my perfect will, and your destiny is secured. Declare your pursuit of the fullness of the Spirit, my child, and receive this divine provision now. My beloved child, the Helper I have sent you is the divine engine of my kingdom, the force that propels my purpose outward, the irrefutable agent in the world's evangelization. You are not called to hoard my blessings, you are called to spread them, to be a conduit of healing and hope in a world desperately searching for my light. I know the world you live in is filled with pain, confusion, and people lost in their own making, unable to distinguish good from bad. But I tell you, you were chosen for these times, born in the right place to be a beacon of my light. Understand this truth. The Helper is directing the paths of my servants to those who hunger, placing you strategically in the lives of those who are ready to receive the truth you carry. Recognize the divine appointments I orchestrate, the chance encounters that are, in fact, my Spirit preparing hearts to receive the gospel message. Trust His guidance, even when the path seems illogical or unexpected. Believe that your life is a living testimony to the boundless power of your omnipotent God, and you are called to extend your hands to heal the sick and feed the hungry, using the beautiful gifts I've given you for good. Walk in the confidence that I am sending you to succeed, and I envelop you with my love, equipping you with the courage and ability to accomplish great things. Acknowledge the profound reality that the Spirit alone grants spiritual rebirth. You cannot reason a soul into my kingdom. You can only plant the seed. It is the Helper who waters that seed, granting the spiritual utterance and wisdom you need to speak my word with power, ensuring the message lands not in the ear, but sinks deep into the heart. Know that your life is a living testimony to the boundless power of your omnipotent God, and you are called to extend your hands to heal the sick and feed the hungry, starting with your family, inspiring them to seek me more. Pray for them, and I will touch them with my power, erasing poverty, wiping away their sorrows, and restoring forgiveness and harmony. Be courageous and do not fear to share my grace and faithfulness. Embrace the truth of confirming the word with signs and wonders following. Believe that your faith will ignite, and you will see everything you once dreamed of come to fruition. Walk in the boldness that my power, not your skill, will validate the message you share, making the reality of my Son undeniable to the skeptic. Know that I have a profound purpose for you and for all you love, and that purpose will be fulfilled even if you don't see or understand it right now. Ask me for clarity, and I will show you the map and instructions so you don't walk in darkness. I want you to go out in triumph every day, live with the unwavering conviction that the Helper is the force that propels my kingdom forward. Share this message with others, helping me spread these words so more souls might be saved, for many are in desperate need of healing and a touch of my affection. Believe that your life is an unmistakable testimony of my unending love and that you are destined to achieve greatness. Open immediately and receive the full, transformative blessing of evangelism, moving you from quiet faith to powerful, active service in my kingdom. Arise and walk as my empowered, unshakable witness to the ends of the earth, bringing comfort and encouragement to seeking souls and providing spiritual nourishment to those in need. Demand this boldness for proclamation, my child, and let the Spirit lead you to those who are hungry for my truth. My beloved child, there is a deep, unbreakable certainty residing in the center of your spirit, placed there by my Helper, the witness to your calling. I know the moments of doubt, the quiet questions that arise when challenges loom large, causing you to wonder if the path you are walking is truly the one I ordained. I see the anxiety that tries to overwhelm you when things get complicated, and the fear that makes you feel without motivation or hope. But I tell you, my Spirit is the divine confirmation of the purpose and destiny I have for you. Recognize the Helper's gentle, yet firm voice giving clarity to your unique place in my body. You were not made by accident or by some twist of luck. I carefully crafted you with love and intention, setting you up for success. Accept that your worth is not measured by the world's standards, but by the love and value I placed upon you at creation. Believe in my power, for I have not only guided your steps here but also provided you with the strength to confront 1,000 giants. Know that every giant that rises against you is destined for defeat, and your goal is to conquer every obstacle that arises, so you will live in abundance and perfect peace. Shift your focus away from worries and fix your eyes upon me, for this is all part of a process. Acknowledge the separation for the work I have ordained. You are chosen, my child, set apart from the dawn of time to walk this path, and my Spirit is the seal on that divine election. Do not diminish yourself by mimicking others or settling for leftovers. Live with the awareness that my plan for you is filled with promise, not despair. Walk in the power of my Holy Spirit, and when you face battles, no one will prevail against you. Remember this: all things are possible for those who believe, and you are not weak. You are strong because you possess my love and faith. Know that I am here to uphold you and provide you with the strength to endure, so you will not be crushed by the tribulations that come your way. Embrace the truth that the Spirit inspires creativity and new ventures for my glory. He is the source of divine motivation and endurance, providing the unwavering commitment you need to persist in your pursuit of your dreams. Believe that your greatest accomplishments are ahead of you and that you are destined for greatness. Walk forward with unwavering confidence, knowing that I am with you, guiding your dreams and ambitions. Trust that your fervent faith will witness supernatural miracles, and my word has the power to heal your body, provide for your family, and meet all your needs. Accept my blessings with a humble heart and in gratitude, remembering those who are struggling, using your abundance to bless and help others. Open immediately and receive the full, transformative blessing of assurance, moving you from questioning to certainty in your sacred, unique calling. Rise and walk in the light of your undeniable destiny, knowing that you are stronger than you think, and you have the potential to transcend any difficulty. Commit to placing me first in your heart, for my true blessings manifest in the harmony and stability that come to your family, in the health and wisdom that usher in seasons of happiness and new life. Declare your belief in me and acknowledge that a better future is possible for those who love me. Demand this clarity of purpose, my child, and let the helper's witness seal your confidence forever. My child, my heart waits. You stand on the precipice of your undeniable destiny, confirmed by the witness to your calling, empowered for my service in the world. Tell me, after I have broken the distinction between the flesh and the spirit, will you choose stagnation over the triumph I have ordained? To hesitate now is to demonstrate a painful disregard for the sovereign act of my sending. Guard the fire. Your eternal reward is closer than your breath. Finish this race, my beloved. Live in the unwavering certainty of your victory. The witness to your calling is now sealed. My child, you are empowered and separated for the work of my kingdom, a living testimony to my boundless power. Hear my command. Your purpose now demands a global reach, extending this urgent message to the souls who cannot yet hear my voice. I tell you, open immediately and become a conduit of my oil, ensuring this light is carried to the darkest corners of the earth. For every soul who hears this word through your partnership, I will pour out upon your house a torrential stream of joy, abundance, and unshakable peace. Remember the law of the river. The more you release, the more I replenish the source within you. Do not delay this divine investment. Honor my mission through super thanks, a membership commitment, or the PayPal link in the description. Sow generously and receive the exponential blessing. My child, you are a place of spiritual warfare, a constant battleground where the flesh and the spirit strive against one another. I know the intensity of this internal struggle, the way the flesh craves the temporary comfort and the immediate escape, the subtle habits, the sudden anger, the unhealthy escapes, while the Spirit calls you to the eternal, challenging path of righteousness. You feel the tension of this warring nature within the believer. Galatians 5:17. Yet I have not left you to fight this war alone. I have given you my helper, the Spirit of truth, to equip you for total victory. Understand this clear distinction. The power to mortify the deeds of the body, Romans 8:13, is given solely by my helper. Recognize that the flesh, with its passions and desires, must be crucified daily. Commit to choosing the voice of the Spirit. even when it means rejecting the powerful, immediate allure of what the flesh demands. Turn away from sin, for it only leads to hurt, turmoil, and ruin. Acknowledge that your occasional mistakes do not frighten me, and I will never reject you for your sins if you come to me with a sincere heart filled with repentance and truth. However, you must make the decision to distance yourself from things and friends that lead you away from me, for they will not come to your rescue in times of serious trouble. Acknowledge the Helper's power to overcome worldly systems. The Spirit gives you the strength and bravery to confront any obstacle, making you bigger than any problem. Believe that my power can change any circumstance, turning sadness into joy and lack into plenty. Walk in the unwavering conviction that crucifixion of self is the path to spiritual freedom and the unconditional peace you yearn for. Recognize that earthly possessions are fleeting. What you take with you are the love and affection you sow, the faith you share, and your unshakable faith and loyalty. These are the treasures that will bring you a true spiritual reward. Embrace the daily struggle as the crucible of spiritual freedom. Know that the flesh craves the temporary, the quick fix, the fleeting pleasure, while the Spirit the eternal, the lasting joy, the enduring peace, the permanent transformation. You must choose daily which voice to obey. Choose the Spirit, my child, and watch as the chains of addiction, impulse, and negative thought patterns fall away, pulverized by the power of my presence. Demand this clarity. Pursue this purity. Insist on the Helper's power to mortify the deeds of the body, moving you from internal conflict to a life of serene, resolute obedience. Open immediately and receive the full, transformative blessing of power over the flesh, moving you from internal conflict to the final, peaceful triumph of the Spirit. Rise and walk in the light of your freedom, knowing that in your weakness, you find your strength in me, and your faith combined with my power makes you invincible. Declare your loyalty to the Spirit, and commit to making your life a holy sanctuary where the flesh has no voice and my Spirit reigns supreme. My beloved child, the Helper I have sent is the divine conductor of your spirit, the one who orchestrates the true encounter that is divine worship. I know your desire to move beyond mere ritual, beyond rote, formal practices, and into a powerful, unreserved experience of my presence. You feel the limitations of human expression when attempting to praise the eternal. You see others raise their hands and sing with a joy that seems unattainable to your sometimes weary spirit. But I tell you, my Spirit enables you to worship me in spirit and in truth. John 4:24, transforming your time with me from a duty into a profound, life-giving experience. Recognize the Helper as the one who inspires authentic adoration and praise, ensuring your worship is not just performance for others, but a genuine, heartfelt offering of love and devotion that rises like sacred incense before my throne. I delight in your prayers, my child, for they rise like sacred incense, a pleasing aroma before my throne, stirring my heart. He transforms your murmurs of discontent into powerful, meaningful praises that shatter the shadows around you. Commit to allowing the Spirit to lead you beyond ritual into true encounter, transforming your praise into a direct, two-way conversation with my throne. Know that your prayers are like sweet melodies, wrapped in tears of love that I hold close. Even the simplest words from your heart, uttered with sincerity and devotion, are precious to me. Embrace the gift of divine expression in song and exultation, allowing the Helper to fill your mouth with beautiful praises and your heart to overflow with joy. This is not about having a perfect voice or knowing all the right words. It is about the unreserved surrender of your spirit to my love. Believe that the Spirit makes worship transformative, not just performative, leading you into the experience of my glory in corporate gatherings and, more importantly, in the quiet solitude of your own home. Feel your heart soar with happiness as you recall and voice my promises. Know that your faithful, fervent worship illuminates and deeply moves me each morning. Acknowledge the truth that I seek worshipers who will engage me in spirit and in truth, moving past the external appearances that the world values. Demand this authenticity in your own heart. Insist that your worship be a visible witness of my life operating through you, reflecting the kindness, gentleness, and self-control that the Helper cultivates. Reject the temptation to compare your experience to others. Your worship is a unique, personal dialogue between my heart and yours, and it is fiercely cherished by me. Trust that every tear you shed and every fervent expression of devotion is noticed and recorded in heaven. The Helper is your personal guide in this experience, leading you beyond the surface of your struggles, the job pressures, the family tensions, the unfulfilled expectations, and into the undeniable reality of my sovereignty. Let your spiritual vision be enhanced, allowing you to appreciate the beauty in store for you and your family. Walk in the unwavering conviction that your worship, guided by the Helper, is a powerful act that silences the enemy and releases the flow of my blessings into your life. Declare your love for me now, though I know it well. Each affirmation from you sparks joy in the heavens, bringing forth celebrations. Open immediately and receive the full, transformative blessing of divine worship, moving you into a life of unreserved adoration and continuous encounter with my presence. Rise and walk in the joy of the worshiper, making your very life a beautiful, fragrant offering of praise. Allow the Spirit to inspire your creativity and new ventures for my glory through the sheer joy of true worship. Feel the deep contentment that comes from knowing you are always listened to, always understood, and always loved without condition. My child, the powerful, transformative presence of my Helper is a sacred fire that must be guarded with unwavering diligence. I have lit the flame, my beloved, but you are the keeper of the altar, responsible for ensuring that the warmth and light of my spirit are never diminished. I know the subtle, slow erosion of spiritual fervor that comes from neglect and the relentless pressures of daily life. The enemy seeks to trap your mind with doubts and distractions. But I call you now to a life of consecration, to ensure that the fire never goes out. Leviticus 6:13, for you possess the power I always speak of, the power to master your emotions through my Spirit. Commit to diligently seeking my face and my word, making this a non-negotiable part of your daily rhythm. Nourish your soul with the wisdom found in my word, for therein lies all you need to forge ahead. Recognize that neglecting this spiritual nourishment is one of the quickest ways to grieve my spirit and quench the fire. Flee from all forms of unrighteousness, recognizing that even the smallest unconfessed sin or the harbor of harmful sentiments within you can poison your spirit. Confess your struggles willingly to me. It is better for you to reveal your struggles than for me to unearth the deep-seated roots that have lingered for too long. Acknowledge the necessity of fasting and consecration as aids to sensitivity, sharpening your spiritual senses and deepening your reliance on my Spirit. Surround yourself with fellow believers for mutual encouragement, as iron sharpens iron. Cherish friendships with those who honor you, who respect your space, and who uplift you without ulterior motives. Do not allow negative people to plant thoughts of failure and foolishness in your mind. Live in the purity that sustains His presence, knowing that no one who lives righteously will be left in need. Your commitment to honesty, purity, and integrity is itself an act of worship that honors me. Embrace the responsibility of guarding the flame by rejecting the offerings of the devourer. Recognize that the Spirit can be honored or resisted, and your daily choices determine the manifestation of my glory in your life. Lay before me your projects and desires, believing faithfully that I will guide and support you every day. Never allow the fire on the altar to go out. Insist on making conscious decisions in accord with the Helper's promptings, for this is the practical, daily reality of walking in the Spirit. Believe in the absolute truth that the Spirit is the unshakable pillar you cling to during moments of doubt, and my love for you is boundless. Open immediately and receive the full, transformative blessing of divine diligence, moving you from passivity to active, courageous stewardship of the fire within. Rise and walk in the light of the maintained flame, knowing that your diligence and persistence towards your objectives will be amply rewarded. Commit to this life of purity and devotion, ensuring that my love and my presence remain the first and most cherished priority in your heart, always. Let my Spirit envelop you and your family in peace and love. Banish thoughts of defeat. The darkness has receded, and you can now walk in the assurance of light. Trust in me, for I am the sovereign over all wealth, and I desire to enrich your spirit and soul first, preparing you to manage your blessings wisely. My beloved child, I want you to feel the profound, unshakable security of this truth. The sending of my helper is a sovereign act of my grace, a Father's gift that is not earned, but freely bestowed upon you. I know the ingrained tendency in your heart to believe you must do something to deserve this love or earn this power, as if my favor is a wage to be paid. But I tell you, this divine provision is the clearest testament to my desire for intimate fellowship with you, proving my faithfulness and my love. Recognize this fundamental reality: my love is the origin of this divine provision. Acknowledge that the Helper is the greatest gift outside of my Son, the living, breathing proof of my unwavering commitment to your life, your purpose, and your full, eternal redemption. This is not a fleeting whisper, but a truth that stands firm in the storm, infused with divine power. I loved you even before your birth and have prepared countless beautiful things for you. Believe in this immense affection, my child. It does not depend on your feelings or emotions. Embrace this blessing as a token of your beloved status, my child, receiving this truth with humility and gratitude. Know that I cherish you deeply and desire your well-being. You are the most cherished and blessed of all creation in my eyes. I will never reject you for your sins, provided you come to me with a sincere heart filled with repentance and truth. This gift is my final, unbroken statement on your worth. Walk in the unwavering conviction that this divine provision is the final, irrefutable proof of your value to me. Acknowledge that this gift is my testament to my desire for intimate fellowship, enabling you to approach me boldly and speak without fear, for you have welcomed me into your soul and loved me fervently. Remember that I am not angry, nor am I distant. Place your trust in me wholeheartedly. This unearned favor is what lifts you from the turmoil, ready to transform your sorrow into joy. You are not destined for despair or loneliness, but for boundless joy and the company of good souls. Commit to living a life that reflects this profound, unconditional love. Open immediately and receive this sovereign, transformative gift, moving you from striving to resting in the unconditional reality of my Father's love. Arise and walk into the certainty of your beloved status, knowing that my power is mightier than any obstacle you face. Trust that I will fulfill all your dreams and desires, for my power surpasses all fears. Declare your commitment to me today, saying, I believe, I trust you, and with patience, I await my blessing. Know that your life is a magnificent tapestry of light, love, and abundance that I am crafting. My child, this is my final, eternal exhortation, a command that requires the immediate and unreserved response of your heart. I have laid bare my plan, revealed my love, and sent my Spirit to be your anchor and guide. Now, the moment of decision is yours. Know that the Helper is already at the door of your heart, having arrived precisely when most needed in the perfect moment. I am here extending my arms of forgiveness and restoration toward you, waiting your return with humility and repentance. Believe that the miracle you've longed for is about to materialize, for nothing can defeat you as you stand with me. Do not hesitate. Open immediately and receive. Cast aside the last remnants of fear, procrastination, and self-doubt that try to keep the door shut. Trust in me, for I am a just and faithful God who honors His promises. Walk forth in the newness of life and power, embracing the freedom and vitality to live with vigor, guidance, and joy. Stand firm in your faith, knowing that I hold your future in my hands. Let my Spirit guide every step of your journey, ensuring you are not distracted by trivial pursuits or empty endeavors. Trust that I will work wonders for you, opening pathways where none seem to exist. Receive my peace, which surpasses all understanding, upon you, washing away turmoil and leaving serenity. Go and live the life I have anointed you to live, a life filled with purpose, abundance, and unconquerable joy. Know that I will never leave you or abandon you. Declare your final surrender now, my beloved. Say it aloud and in writing. I believe, and together we will emerge from the storm triumphant. Embrace my blessings. You are stepping into a new beginning where your dreams will start to materialize. Rise and walk into the undeniable reality of your glorious, Spirit-filled destiny. Amen. The final exhortation hath been given, my beloved. You are filled with my Spirit and commanded to walk forth in power. But I warn you, that freedom you received must become a flame carried to others who are still in bondage and darkness. I demand now, open immediately and partner with the urgency of this evangelization, ensuring my helper's voice reaches the ears of the lost and the longing. For this act of immediate generosity, I will not simply replenish your supply, I will multiply your resource like the unending manna, setting a shield of favor over your finances and all your endeavors. Recognize your destiny as a giver. Plant your seed into this fertile ground via Super Thanks, membership, or the PayPal link below. Fulfill your purpose and claim the eternal reward. My child, this divine summons demands your irrevocable response. Do not let this potent word fade into the silence of your worries, for the Helper is already at the door, His mighty hand outstretched. I command you now, seal this encounter in the comments below. Declare your immediate, unwavering obedience. Type these words to make your faith visible and your intention unbreakable. Beloved, I'm opening immediately. Let the Spirit lead. Let the declaration be the final word against every doubt and delay, and watch as my Spirit rushes in to unleash the full measure of your destiny. Go and proclaim your freedom. Amen.